Welcome back to Most Amazing.
Hello and welcome back to the stream. It's Spooky Sunday, and I hope you're having a spooky Sunday wherever you are in the world. And if it's not Sunday where you live, well, I don't know what to tell you. Move to a better time zone, because we get the weekend before you, we get the new year before you. It's cool. All the cool kids are doing it. All the cool kids are in the future, and the future is now, I guess. I don't know. Look, I have a fever. I didn't sleep much last night, so yeah. What are we gonna do? Probably nothing. All right. Let's look at some spooky things. How am I feeling? Yeah, I'm still pretty under the weather. Well, I always am, I guess, but a little more feverish and gibberish than usual. But you know, we do what we can. We're getting more subs on YouTube, which is good. We like more subscribers. It's nice. I wish I was a Nepo baby and I could just like get handed a fan base. It's really unfair. Why do I have to freaking work for everything? Give me stuff. I want stuff. Give me all the things. Oh yeah, the Sailor Moon mouse has been revived. When the battery died, it just wasn't connected anymore. And I already missed like a few rounds of GeoGuessr, so I couldn't like, and my other mouse just like connected automatically, so my old one. So anyway, Sailor Moon mouse is not dead, and that is good. That is a positive thing, and you know, we like to see it because we just want to have Sailor Moon stuff, okay? Just want to have Sailor Moon stuff because I'm an adult and adults want Sailor Moon stuff, you know? That's how it goes. Anyway, without further ado. Hang on, I need tea. let's look at haunted places in Victoria, because although I am a New South Welsh, apparently people find New South Welsh very fun. It is the grammatically correct term for somebody that originates from the state of New South Wales, but seem to excite some people, so we'll continue saying it. However, I am not a Victorian, but I do reside in the state of Victoria, and I have for some time. I am quite enculturated. I even watch AFL, or as it's known in New South Wales, GayFL. And yeah, we're gonna look at the 10 most haunted places in Victoria from Mr. AI account, True Creepy Experiences. I am gonna maybe start making slideshows, so like all the content's 100% mine, and I can just like, he used AI, so I'll just use AI also. But yes, we are looking at True Creepy Experiences, and yeah, it's creepy. The Addams Family. I can't click. They're creepy and they're poopy. I only remember the schoolyard version, and it has the R word in it. You know, I don't know if people had this when they were at school, but in Western Sydney on the playground we had the Addams Family started when Uncle Fester farted. They all went regarded. The Addams Family. And that's what we had. That's what we had. You know, I had a very special childhood. Anyway, Hyperbovian's the only person here, but that's okay because you know, that's just how life is, and I'm so feverish I can imagine more friends are here. So in the end, it's you know, I'm manifesting 5,000 live stream viewers. Let's go, let's do it. All right, 10 most haunted places in Victoria. Do it for YouTube. Oh, Scowy. It's a skeleton man.
Australia, a land of rolling hills, gold rush towns, and coastline that looks like the edge of the world. But beneath its charm,
it's literally the edge of the world. The next stop is Antarctica. And I know Tasmania's there, but like, apart from wombats, what have you done for me, Tasmania? What have you ever done for me besides cute wombats? I ask you that. The answer is nothing. Screw you. Screw you, Tasmania.
shadows linger where sunlight fades. Old asylums, theaters, and colonial mansions hold with.
He spelt theaters wrong. It's R-E, not E-R. Anyway, sorry. A stickler. If you're going to make a video about Victoria, you have to spell things the Victorian way.
Whispers that never died.
Ooh.
Tonight, we'll walk
Swanson
into the
Street.
haunted heart of Victoria. 10 places where the line between past and present bends. And the restless dead are said to wander still.
Ooh.
If you listen closely, you might just hear their footsteps.
I mean, to be fair, like, everybody in the Melbourne CBD is like chuffing. My friend from Western Sydney who lives on the Gold Coast now, my best friend, she was down here last year or the year before, and she was just like, wow, it smells so much. She's like, does everyone just chuff here? And I'm like, yeah. Since like they made like medical marijuana legal, everybody just chuffs out in the open and the police don't do anything. She couldn't believe it. So everybody just walks around like zombies in Victoria anyway. Everybody is like off their tits. So it is basically kind of like you woke up in 28 days later, everyone's just a freaking zombie. Freaking zombie walking around. Zombie, 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 it's in your head. Sorry, Dolores, I'm butchering your song. Rest in peace.
Yours. 9. Princess Theatre, Melbourne.
Oh, he spelt it right.
Victoria. The grand chandeliers of Melbourne's Princess Theatre sparkle as if nothing.
I'm just gonna say, for the benefit of the tape, every time he says Melbourne, I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna scream internally and probably externally. That's a pet peeve. It's Melbourne. Or Melbourne. People in Melbourne say Melbourne, but I'm not from Melbourne, so I say Melbourne. Are you with me, guys? For some reason, Americans, Victorians mix up their A's and their E's. So where there's an A, they say E. Where there's an E, they say A. Like if your name's Ali, they'll call you Ellie. And if your name's Aaron, they'll call you Aaron. And they'll call you Aaron if your name's Aaron. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's all the chuff. Maybe it's fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not here to judge. I'm not your mom. But like, he lifted it from the wiki. He did. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now that I have a computer that works, I'm just gonna be out here churning content like a freaking mofo. You know what? He probably watched one of those courses on how to generate AI content to like get a YouTube channel.
Nothing could disturb the elegance of its velvet-draped balconies. But the audience here is never truly alone. In 1888, a famed baritone named Frederick Federici collapsed of a heart attack during the final act of Faust. He was lowered beneath the stage on a trapdoor, only to vanish from life forever.
Oh no, not life.
He still appeared for the curtain call that night, smiling beside them before fading like smoke. Since then, performers and staff whisper of his presence, the so-called Federici ghost. They feel a hand on their shoulder in the wings, or catch a suited gentleman.
That's assault, brother.
Seats.
You can't just touch people because you're a ghost.
Any show he attends, but others feel a chill when they hear his unseen footsteps pacing backstage. Would you dare sing beneath the same chandelier, knowing and
probably not, just because I can't sing. If I, however, was octavely gifted, I would perhaps sing. And if a ghost tried to steal my thunder, you're getting exercised, mate. All right, you were getting exercised. Oh, my friends came down from Sydney to see this play. They were like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "No," because I'm an adult woman. And I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, like a real cool person. Unlike you posers, I'm a based Tolkien enjoyer. Some might say I am a Tolkien enjoyer, and those people would be correct.
An eternal spectator watches every note. 8. Aradale, Lunatic Asylum.
Oh.
Ararat, Victoria.
Ararat.
The wind.
It's Ararat. Oh my fucking god. What did he say? Dude. No. Stop. Get some help.
Tastes of rust in Ararat, where a sprawling asylum dominates the hilltop. Aradale, opened in 1867, once held more than 13,000 patients across its grim history. It was a place where shadows never left the criminally insane, housed beside the
most objects cast shadows.
Brutal.
I don't think that's
enforced by locked doors.
I don't think that's exclusive to mental
Now
patients, mate,
abandoned,
but okay.
The asylum stands like a city of ghosts. Visitors on tours
And I
describe sudden
don't want
nausea,
the world to
disembodied
see me.
cries,
Oh, that's City of
and
Angels.
icy hands brushing against theirs in empty wards. In the women's wing, a figure in white has been seen gliding through the hall.
Why are they always in
vanishing
white?
When chased. In the morgue,
Ooh,
countless
that scared me.
unclaimed bodies pass.
How dare you?
Cameras refuse to work. Batteries drained dry as though the dead still demand their space. Some swear they've heard doctors whispering in empty offices, their voices low and urgent, as though still debating treatments decades after the asylum closed. If walls could remember pain, these walls would never rest. and neither, it seems, do the souls trapped inside. 7. The Old Melbourne Jail, Melbourne, Victoria.
I went here when my parents came to visit me. I took them to Melbourne Jail because they wanted to go. Usually, like, I don't really do tourist things, but yeah, I took them to Old Melbourne Jail, and we saw Ned Kelly's death mask, and we also saw did he spell jail the American way or the proper way? I don't know, but I can see you are writing jail in chat the correct way with a G, an A, a O, and an L, and we do appreciate that. We do appreciate that. But yeah, that is where Ned Kelly was kept and hung. So we do, I hear Ned Kelly was hung, and he was hung, if you know what I'm saying. There's nothing hotter than a bushranger. Gotta say, I do like a bad boy. I do like a bad boy. Rawr, rawr. All right, let's continue.
Stone walls rise heavy and suffocating in the Old Melbourne Jail, a place where death was more certain than freedom. Built in the mid-1800s, this prison became infamous as the site where 133 people were executed, including Australia's most legendary outlaw, Ned Kelly.
What?
His final words,
Such is life.
still seem to echo in the gallows. But
It was
visitors
such is
today
life.
report more than echoes. Guards and tourists alike feel cold hands brush against them in empty corridors, or hear chains rattling when no one walks the halls. The air here carries a metallic tang, as though iron bars and blood have seeped into the stone itself.
You do wank
In
on
the
a bit,
cells,
mate.
Shadows loom larger than the figures that cast them, and some have sworn they saw Kelly himself, a tall figure with a bearded face glowering from behind the bars, before vanishing. Even seasoned paranormal investigators admit the jail resists silence. Electronic devices spark to life with phantom voices, some crying, some laughing in a cruel rasp. You can walk its corridors as a visitor, but the jail has a way of making you feel like an inmate still awaiting judgment. 6. The Athenaeum Theatre, Melbourne, Victoria. Amid Melbourne's bustling Collins Street stands the Athenaeum Theatre, where velvet curtains sway and golden balconies gleam. Yet behind its beauty, there lingers something far older than applause. Staff have long reported the figure of a woman in a long gown, drifting silently across the upper galleries. Her face is pale, her eyes hollow, and she vanishes as quickly as she appears. Some believe she was once a patron who collapsed during a performance in the early 1900s, her spirit returning night after night.
Yeah, because
So
she
the
didn't
show
get
that
her
never
money's
ended.
worth.
Others claim
I'd be
she is
pissed off
tied
if
to
I
the
didn't get
building
to see the
itself.
show I paid for.
a ghost from an even earlier structure that stood here before the theater was raised. Actors rehearse under the uneasy weight of her unseen eyes.
A
And more than
whispering
one
eye.
technician has refused to work alone backstage after midnight. What chills most is the silence that follows her. No footsteps, no breath, no sound at all.
Well, she's not
As though
real.
the
How would she
theater
have
itself is
footsteps?
holding its voice in deference to the dead.
Indifferent?
Would you dare sit alone in the dark, waiting for the curtain to rise, if you knew a ghost might already be in the seat beside you?
I'd be like, did you pay for that, love?
The
Bugger
Altona
off.
Homestead, Altona.
Ooh, Altona! Shout out to
Closer Melbourne's
Altona.
bayfront,
Doof,
The
doof,
Altona
doof, doof,
Homestead
doof.
looks almost quaint. A colonial building with whitewashed walls and
I
white.
will say, in the city, in the suburb just east of Altona, Williamstown, there is a house that I walk past that is definitely got some juju vibes. It's definitely got like there's definitely something something that chills your bones when you walk past a certain house in Williamstown, which is, you know, not far from here. Just this road here, you just go this way. Do, 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 do. And it's along like the Port Phillip Bay? Yeah, that's what it's called. I know stuff.
Verandas. But when darkness falls, the house reveals its true nature. Built in the mid-1800s, it was home to the Langhorne family. And
Langhorne?
later, the site of countless
Oh, I know
funerals
this house.
held within its very rooms. Visitors describe shadows moving independently of their owners, cold drafts sweeping through sealed hallways, and children's laughter ringing in empty corners.
Not children's laughter.
One of the most frequent apparitions
I hate
is
happy
that of a
children.
young woman in period dress, often glimpsed in the dining room,
Oh, Moreton Bay
gazing
figs.
out toward the bay, as if waiting for someone who never returned. Paranormal investigators have captured unexplained voices.
This is the same footage from the asylum. I thought this was the Ararat Asylum. This is the exact thing you said where the doctors were still whispering. I remember because that happened like 2 minutes ago. Why are you lying to me, sir? Why are you lying to me?
Soft cries, urgent whispers echoing from the upstairs bedrooms. During community events, locals sometimes feel their chairs pulled back, as though unseen guests demand their place at the table. And in the dead of night, when the homestead is locked, security guards have sworn they saw lights flicker on inside, only to vanish when they stepped through the door. Here, history clings like a
Oh, that's
shadow,
some nice
and the
china.
homestead seems determined never to be empty.
Willow print. I want that. I want that china set.
Beechworth Lunatic Asylum,
That's not nice.
Victoria. In the quiet town of Beechworth, mist settles over the ruins of one of Victoria's most notorious asylums. Opened in 1867, the Beechworth Lunatic Asylum operated for more than a century, housing thousands of patients, many against their will. Treatments were brutal, with electroshock therapy, isolation, and the cruel reality that it took only 2 signatures to commit someone here, but 8 to release them. The asylum closed in 1995, but the echoes of its past refused to fade. Guides and visitors alike speak of apparitions in the courtyards and along the echoing hallways. A woman in a long flowing gown is often seen by the windows.
There are so many people suffering from acute psychosis just wandering around now because they've closed down all these facilities. They should have never been closed. They should have never been closed. It's so hard. Like I have a sibling who suffers with paranoid schizophrenia, and it was so hard to get him help. He was a danger to himself. He was a danger to society at large, and it was so hard. It took years of tears and trying. And you know, I'm a trained social worker. I'm a qualified social worker that has experience in navigating the mental health system. And it was even hard for me to get him help. Eventually, we were able to get him on a medication that worked and that he responded to, and we were able to get him into supported living. But it was a struggle. But the fact that these places are closed down, these beautiful places just going to waste. Recently, a pregnant woman and her partner were murdered in their flat in southeast Melbourne by an acutely psychotic schizophrenic man, and the husband's head was put on a spike. This is what happens when we don't hospitalize people that need to be hospitalized. Make it cheap apartments, you'd live there. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Look, it's nothing some frankincense and a priest can't fix. It's nothing some frankincense. I know people are all about white sage, and apparently First Nation American people don't like non-native American people using white sage, but frankincense is way more powerful. Frankincense resin on a charcoal disc or dragon's blood resin on a charcoal disc. I put both because it smells really good. Say the Lord's Prayer, walk around, there you go. Whenever I move somewhere, I always do that. It's effective. It's effective and it's biblical, and I feel super goth when I do it. So, you know, we do like that. We do like that. It's very goth. But yeah, I don't know. The government spends all this money on mental health, but it's only for like sexy mental health, like, you know, people suffering with depression. But it's more society that's making people depressed. It's not like a mental health crisis in the true sense, right? It's just people feel disconnected. Yeah, it is sexy mental health because there's no funding for people that are actually suffering from psychotic illnesses and are a danger to themselves and are a danger to the public at large. It's so hard to get them hospitalized. It's so hard to get them help. It's so hard. It's so hard to get anything actioned. It's so incredibly hard and so incredibly heartbreaking. I had my brother down in Melbourne for a year just trying to get him help, getting him diagnosed. And then it took another 2 years to find a medication that worked for him. And in that time, he was just hurting himself, hurting other people, hurting everyone around him. It's horrible. It's horrible. And lucky, you know, he never hurt anyone physically. He definitely hurt me emotionally. He said some really horrific things to me. And, you know, it's probably irreparably damaged our relationship, and we used to be incredibly close. It's very sad. It's, you know, I don't know. We need to do something. We need to do something. Like, where is all this mental health funding going to? It's going to raising awareness of depression. Okay. Cool. Who is that helping? Well, I'm aware that everyone's depressed. Are you okay? Exactly. It's such fucking bullshit.
Face pressed against the glass, watching those who enter. In the chapel, disembodied voices murmur hymns in the dark. And in the hospital wing, footsteps follow guests down empty corridors, stopping only when the lights are switched off. Some say the most chilling sight is that of Matron Sharp, a stern but protective figure who still patrols the grounds. Witnesses describe her as both comforting and terrifying, depending on where she appears. The asylum may be abandoned, but here, the walls breathe with memories, and the patients never truly checked out. 3. Point Cook Homestead, Point Cook,
Oh, Point Cook!
Victoria. By day, Point Cook Homestead looks like a picturesque relic of colonial life, standing by the windswept coastline where the land meets the sea. By night, it becomes something far more unsettling. Built in the mid-1850s by the Chirnside family, the estate carries with it both grandeur and tragedy. Thomas Chirnside, one of the brothers, ended his life here in 1887, and locals believe his restless soul still roams the grounds. Visitors on ghost tours recount hearing heavy footsteps echoing through the homestead, only to find the rooms empty. Cold spots bloom in the middle of the hallway, accompanied by the distinct scent of cigar smoke, a habit Thomas was known for. In the stables, horses have been heard snorting and stamping long after the animals were removed, as if unseen riders are still mounting for a midnight departure. But the most unnerving reports come from the homestead's darkened bedrooms. Guests describe waking to see shadowy figures at the foot of the bed, watching in silence. Others have heard weeping coming from locked rooms, the sound fading into the roar of the sea. At Point Cook,
G'day, Celery Dave. Good to see you.
it feels as though the ocean itself carries the dead back to shore, depositing them at the gates of the homestead they can never leave. 2. Cape Otway Light Station, Great Ocean Road, Victoria. The coastline of Victoria is jagged.
Oh, I've been here.
approach-
I've been here when I was on my way to the 12 Apostles. I went to the 12 Apostles and I needed to wee so badly and the toilets were shut. I had to wee in the bush. That's my story. I had a bush wee. You know, I'm used to having bush wees, but there were like a lot of like tourists around and I was like, oh God, gotta have a bush wee because I really need to wee and I don't want to get a UTI. I think it is the round the twist one. Have you ever felt like this? Have strange things happen? Are you going round the twist? Yeah.
Where countless ships met their end. At Cape Otway, the lighthouse has stood since 1848, guiding sailors away from the rocks. Yet even with its beam, more than 200 wrecks scar the waters nearby.
Well, what a shit lighthouse then. It wasn't frickin' doing its job if cunts couldn't see it.
Those who never made it ashore are said to still wander here, their souls bound to the cliffs and the light that failed them. Visitors speak of ghostly figures appearing along the cliff edge, pale sailors who vanish when approached. Inside the lighthouse, staff have reported hearing doors slam and heavy boots on the spiral stairs, though no one else is there. The cottages nearby are even more disturbing. Some guests have woken to find a figure standing silently in their room, only for it to fade as the lighthouse beam sweeps across. The most chilling tales come from those who walk the grounds alone. They describe whispers carried on the wind, voices speaking in languages they don't recognize, possibly the drowned tongues of sailors, long gone. On stormy nights, the sea crashes like thunder against
I didn't know sailors had a special language that only sailors spoke, but okay, sure.
the rocks, and the lighthouse feels less like a beacon of safety and more like a tombstone for the lost. 1. The Blackwood Hotel,
Ooh.
Blackwood, Victoria.
Well, one would
In
assume
the small
so.
mining town of Blackwood stands a weathered pub, the Blackwood Hotel. Its timber bones dating back to the 1860s. To passing travelers, it's just another country hotel, but the locals know better. Beneath its rustic charm lies a history steeped in the lawless days of the gold rush, when fights, betrayals, and sudden deaths were common.
But at least you can get a pint of Carlton Draft, and that's the only thing that matters. That's all I care about. Is it haunted? Whatever. Can I get a beer? Yes. Okay, well then it's a pub, you know? It's a pub. If it's got beer, it's a pub.
Guests report glasses shattering on their own, lights flickering wildly.
Yeah, because a drunk
and
can't
chairs
drop their
scraping
glass.
across the floor without a hand to move them. But it's the apparitions that give the hotel its reputation. A shadowy man in a wide-brimmed hat is often seen leaning in the corner of the bar, his face obscured, watching until the observer blinks, and he's gone. Upstairs, the spirit of a young girl has been seen darting across the hallway, giggling softly before vanishing into locked rooms. Some visitors refuse to stay the night after encountering the oppressive silence that descends without warning, as though the pub itself is holding its breath. The bravest whisper of waking in the dark to find someone sitting at
This looks like a good place to go gold fossicking because it's like quite dense. And if there is still some nug-nugs that haven't been discovered yet, like people don't like bush bashing, but I'm quite partial to a bush bash. And people have still been finding sizable chunks of gold in the Golden Triangle. What's up, Panda Lady? Not much. We're just looking at some ghost stories. It's a little arcade in the mountain. They love their stories. Yeah, mountain people do like their stories. Yeah, I'm gonna go there and find some gold. I need money. I want money. Some guy found like a $600,000 gold nugget, like not far out of Ballarat a few years ago. So, you know, there's still gold out there. There's still gold in dem hills. And I need gold because I can sell it and get monies. So that's what I want. Money, money.
Bed, cold, unmoving, and gone the moment they turn on the light. In Blackwood, shadows don't just linger. They wait. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite haunted location, and subscribe for more weekly videos from the shadows.
I'm gonna do my own haunted location where I've actually been, and this place is actually haunted. I just thought of it. I'm doing my own AI chapter. Woodford Academy. This is the oldest building in the Blue Mountains, situated in the central mid-mountains. It's called the heart of the Blue Mountains because it's smack bang in the middle, Woodford. And this is the oldest building in the Blue Mountains. I think I already said that. You can tell this isn't prepped, can't you? And it's haunted as fuck, especially the attic. If you go and do a tour there, it is under the National Trust, so you do have to pay a small entry fee. I have no idea how much it is. Me and my friend went there when we were kind of day drinking, so I don't remember, you know, I was drunk. And my friend lives around the corner from here. Well, she doesn't anymore. Her parents live around the corner from here still. Woodford Academy. See, guys, I'm doing a presentation. I feel like I'm back at school. Located on Darug and Gundagara country in Woodford, New South Wales. Woodford Academy is the oldest complex of colonial buildings in the Blue Mountains, with a multi-layered history stretching back to the 1830s. Oh, the Fairfax family used to own this. You know, like the Fairfax family that own all the newspapers, like the media Fairfax family, they used to own this. Visitors can enjoy the spectacular sandstone building, step inside historic rooms, and hear the stories of Woodford Academy's many lives as gentlemen's residents, boarding school, and most recently, home to a rare 17th century Dutch master painting discovered in the artwork collection. Oh, they found an expensive painting there. I wish I had found that. I would have stolen it because I am a thief and I want stuff. Highlights. Take a trip back in time at this historic attraction in the Blue Mountains. During your visit, you'll enjoy original sandstone buildings with a rich history dating back to the 1830s, stories from the site's Indigenous past, as well as Woodford Academy's intriguing history as a guest house and boarding school. A peek inside yesteryear classrooms with original schoolrooms and desks. Art events, performances, and talks on monthly open days. Anyway, what did Fairfax, what did they do with it? I think they just lived there. I think they just had it as a holiday home because the Great Western Highway used to be called Old Bathurst Road, or I guess it was just called Bathurst Road because it wasn't old yet. And yeah, they just used to travel up. A lot of rich people used to have like just holiday estates up in the Blue Mountains. A lot of the older ones burnt down because obviously, for those of you that don't know, the Blue Mountains a few hours west of Sydney is the most fire-prone place on the planet because of its geology and a combination of the geology and the trees that grow there. Obviously, it's full of like very flammable trees. It's turpentines, it's eucalypts. And yeah, obviously the fires going up the mountains heat as they move up the mountain, and it just creates like huge fireballs. So it's basically on fire every year. In winter, everything smells like fire because the hot boys at the RFS, the Rural Fire Service, the absolute legends that they are, mostly volunteers, are doing prescribed burns. yeah, so a lot of the older homesteads up there have like burnt down. There's still, you know, there's still a lot of old buildings, but a lot of, yeah, it's just a very fiery type of place. Built originally as an inn in the 1830s, the collection of buildings has operated over the years as a gentleman's residence, guest house, boarding house from 1907 to 1936. Under the ownership of John Manamy as an exclusive school, Woodford Academy. In 2022, a rare 17th century Dutch master painting was also discovered in Woodford's artwork collection. Dude, that's amazing. I want a rare painting. How much is it worth? Tell me. Bequeathed to the National Trust in 1979 by John McAnamy's sole surviving daughter, Gertrude. That's a cool name. I want my name to be Gertrude. The Woodford Academy is today a museum that offers a unique glimpse of colonial life in the Blue Mountains. Woodford Academy is located, it's on the Great Western Highway in Woodford. You can't really miss it. Don't need to say. Can I bring my pet? No, you can't. Were you dropped on the head as a child? Anyway, these are some pictures of Woodford Academy. So I'll tell you what happened when I went there with my friend. So like I said, my friend's parents' house lived around there. They'd gone away. So, you know, we were being teenagers, doing teenage things, you know, doing some, well, it's haunted by quite a few people, Hyperborean. It's haunted by quite a few people. It was built using convict labor, and quite a few convicts died from, you know, overexertion during its construction. As well, it was a boarding house. I believe it was a boarding house for young women. So they were taking, you know, 2 hours away, well, longer than that because they went by horse and carriage, probably like a 5-hour horse and carriage ride from the city, from Sydney. And they were taken there. And I'll tell you what me and my friend saw. So me and my friend, we did the tour there. I think it was about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We were looking around, you know, we were looking at all the buildings. And anyway, we went up to the attic. And we both saw like, I like the window of the attic. Do you know how like attics have like that little gabled window that they typically have like at the, where the window is? We both just sort of turned. We felt like both sort of compelled to turn and look at the window. We turned and looked at the window and we saw like this weird like undulation of like purple and bluish light, and like it looked like a girl. Like, do you know the Cure film clip for Charlotte Sometimes? It's like Victorian schoolgirl, Victorian as in the era, not the place. Yeah, we saw like something that looked, you know, akin to like a Victorian era schoolgirl, but made out of like purple and blue light. So that was creepy, and we told each other like independently, like I was like, oh, did you see anything in the attic? And she was like, yeah, what did you see? And then we sort of like compared notes, but it was, yeah, we were both like very quiet and like very like pale when we got out of there. But yeah, that's yeah, who really knows? There's a lot of like convict like trauma in because yeah, the people that were originally brought to the colony of New South Wales, a lot of them were worked to death, right? A lot of them were worked to death because, you know, they didn't really have any rights. So it's, yeah, there's a lot of eeriness around there. It's a bit spoopy, but who knows? We were drunk. Maybe we just imagined a ghost girl. It's you know, we could have. We were drunk teenagers. It's not outside the realm of possibility that you know, that you could just imagine. But yeah, it's a very nice building. It's very pretty. And yeah, that's That's it, really? That is it. Just hanging out by the window? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It definitely is something that, like, stands out in my mind as it being haunted. The Blue Mountains seem really haunted. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, like, indigenous juju out there as well. Like, there's definitely seems to be, like, a lot of indigenous spiritual activity out there as well, and it just in general, like, attracts people that, like, practice, like, witchcraft, and there's a lot of cults there. It's very known for its cults. Every little village along the Blue Mountains, like, has, like, some type of witchcraft shop or, like, some type of, like, wannabe shaman freaking doing God knows what. There's a lot of weirdos up there, man. There's a lot of fucking weirdos up there, I will say. I will say. All right, 10 haunted places in New South Wales where the harbour lights flicker for no one. Do, 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 do. Is there a mental asylum there too? Yeah, there's a really beautiful old Victorian mental and drowned towns. Yeah, they drowned a town there to make Warragamba Dam, which supplies most of Sydney's water. Yeah, we can look at that. We can look at that after we watch this. Actually, let's look at the asylum, because I have a keyboard now, so it's easy for me to type shit in. I think it's the Queen Victoria. It might be Queen. Anyway, let's just try. Asylum. Wentworth Falls. Queen Victoria Sanatorium and Hospital. There we go. This is somewhere that yeah, there's all graffiti in there. This is something where all teenagers, we used to go here and, like, dare each other to go in and, like, all of that stuff. I never would. I'm not, if that place is haunted, like, it's obviously a place of, like, deep pain. I'm not going in there. Because some of those archaic treatments for mental health are terrifying, and I don't be messing with that stuff. But yeah, this is the old mental hospital in Wentworth Falls. Queen Victoria Sanatorium and Hospital. Unsafe. Do not trespass. The caretaker will call the police. Asbestos everywhere. Oh, I wonder if any of the dickheads I was mates with back in the day have, like, asbestosis or mesothelioma, whatever that thing's called. Asbestos disease. The Botterton Red Cross Sanatorium, Wentworth Falls, New South Wales. For early stage tuberculosis patients. Oh, there you go. People, mesothelioma, that's what I was trying to say. The original house on the property was built for Kelso King. Knighted in 1929, a prominent Sydney businessman with fingers in many corporate pies. Ooh, kinky. Such as insurance, banking, pastoralism, mining, and coastal shipping. Around 1890, King and his first wife, Irene... Oh, I know someone who's related. I know someone who's a member of the King family. I think I told you one time this, like, private school kid was, like, who's, like, friends with my dad, who was always hitting on me. He's a member of that family. He inherited, like, half of the Blue Mountains. That's why my mum was always trying to get me to go on a date with him, and he was weird, and he had soft hands. He shook my hand, and it was, like, soft and limp. And I'm like, no. Can't deal with that. I didn't know that they owned that. There you go. Around 1890, King and his first wife, Irene Rand, acquired the land, which laid mostly on the tableland, but included part of Kadumba Walls and Kadumba Valley below. The Kings built a country retreat on this relative remote spot, perhaps encouraged by the King's Table and... Sorry, my throat is sore. Anyway, it was just yeah, apparently it is very haunted. Apparently a lot of people say that they see stuff there. I've just never personally gone there because why would I go to somewhere that's supposed to be haunted? Like, that just seems dumb. Anyway, is everybody still around or is it just Hyperbovian? Oh well. 10 haunted places in New South Wales where the harbour lights flicker for no one. He likes to finger his pies. He sure does. What a weirdo. At least he could be like the kid in an American Pie and just, you know, stick his willy in there. The night air. Oh, look, it's Luna Park. Do.
The night air in New South Wales can feel deceptively warm, almost inviting until you notice the silence between the waves. The way the wind cuts off mid-breath.
If there's waves on Sydney Harbour, be very, very concerned because that's not normal. It's, you know, it can get a little bit choppy if it's really windy, but there should not be waves on the harbour. That would be very dangerous for the people living in their multi-million-dollar properties here.
As if something unseen is listening. Beneath the glow of the harbor lights and the sprawl of coastal towns.
What?
There are places here where shadows linger too long, and echoes don't belong to the living. Tonight, we step into streets that seem normal by day, but after dark, they turn into corridors between worlds. Keep your eyes open. In New South Wales, not every light you see is meant to guide you home. 10. Monte Cristo Homestead, Junee. They call it the most haunted house in Australia, and in Junee, everyone knows the legend of Monte.
It's Junee, by the way. If you come to Australia and call it Junee, people are going to be like, did you hit your head, you posh cunt? Oh, look, this guy thinks he's fancy. And then you'll just be called Fancy Man or like some other nickname for the rest of the night. It's definitely Junee. It's not Junee. Yeah. Look, people, if you get given a nickname by a bunch of drunk Aussies, it's gonna stick to you. So you probably don't want to be called like the fancy cunt or whatever, you know? So, what are we talking about? Don't tell me the bridge is haunted. You think Sydney Harbour Bridge has many stories? Only one person ever fell off the Harbour Bridge, Hyperbovian, and he survived. I was looking, but yeah, the Westgate Bridge was built, you know, way after the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and so many people died there. Because I always walk under the Westgate Bridge, you know. Well, not always, but maybe like a few times a month. I go and go under there where the mangroves are, and there's like a little jetty and stuff where you can go under there. It's like they fenced it off so you can't walk all the way out anymore. But I always see this little Asian guy out there fishing, and he always like climbs across. I offered him a hand across once, and I don't think he understood what I was saying, but it's like someone's grandpa's out there fishing in the middle of the night, so that's cute. Don't think he speaks English, but he's very adorable. Yeah, there's the CFMEU erected a plaque there. Yeah, heaps of people died, but no, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is fine. Let's look at But look, Sydney's always had very militant unions compared to Victoria. Victoria having like a super robust CFMEU is sort of, I don't want to say recent, but relatively. Because I think Sydney Harbour Bridge is 1932, the construction, I want to say. The 19th of March, because I have the same birthday as the Harbour Bridge. And that's how I know. 16 men died in the construction of the bridge versus, and this was in what year? 2007 was the 75th anniversary. The construction was 1930, okay, versus Westgate Bridge. So the Westgate Bridge was built in 1970 and 35 workers died. So you would think in 1970 they would have, you know, way more like safety, like way more like safety precautions that they could take. But that many people dying and that many people, 18 people injured as well. Yeah, I always look because it says like the profession of the people that died, and there were heaps of riggers that died on the bridge because I was all looking at all the names of the riggers because my daddy used to be a rigger, so I was looking. Yeah, the CFMEU have a nice little plaque there, but they need to make a nicer plaque because a rigger is like somebody that ties loads, like for cranes and stuff. You work with all the ropes. And a dogger is like somebody that does the whistles. So usually someone's a rigger and a dogger, and a dogger is the person that has the whistle. So like when they say the load's secure, they let the bloke in the crane know by, you know, doing 2 whistles or whatever it is. Yeah. It's you got to know how to tie a lot of different knots, I guess, basically. But yeah, I walk under the Westgate semi-often, I would say. Here's the plaque. Here's the plaque. I only ever see it at night. But yeah, this is all the names of the people that died. What's the CFMEU for the internationals? It's construction, mining, forestry, and the E is... Hang on. It used to be the Builders and Labourers Party, and then it became the CFMEU. I always forget the E. Maritime employees. Oh, the M is maritime. Oh yeah, they did amalgamate, didn't they? Construction, Forestry and Maritime Employees Union. That's not what it used to stand for, though. What's the old name? The M used to stand for the M used to stand for manufacturing. But the MUA, which was the Maritime Union of Australia, they amalgamated to make like a super union not too long ago. Hang on, let's check that. I knew they were talking about it, but I didn't know they actually did it. When did MUA and CFMEU... How do you spell amalgamate? Yeah, they amalgamated in 2018. So it was the CFMEU, the MUA, and the Textile Clothing and Footwear Union of Australia. So that's why what it stands for has changed. But before that, it used to be the Builders and Labourers Union. Because my dad's been very active in the union since he moved to Australia when he was 19. Because, yeah, he's pretty much worked in construction most of his life. He was in the army for a bit also, the Australian Army, which is where he met all of his Alco friends. They're very funny. They tell me lots of hilarious stories. It's a good time. It's a good time to go drinking with my dad now that he's retired and his mates. They're so funny. But yeah, there's definitely some vibes around the Westgate Bridge for sure, like down under the pylons on like the Yarraville Spotswood side of the bridge.
Monte Cristo. The two-story Victorian manor stands on a hill, its lacework balcony catching the last rays of sun like a spiderweb catching flies.
Oh, this is in Junie, not Juné. Don't call it Juné, you'll get bashed.
Inside, time seems unwilling to move forward. The air is cold, not just from the stone walls, but from the weight of what happened here. Built in 1885 by Christopher William Crawley,
That's a nice
the homestead
house.
was meant to be a symbol of wealth and refinement. Instead, it became a tomb for whispers. Over the decades, its walls have absorbed tragedies. A stable boy burned alive, a maid who fell from the balcony, a mentally ill man kept chained in an outbuilding until his death. Even Mrs. Crawley herself, after her husband's death, became a recluse who never left the house for
Oh, so these landowners were getting all rural with it, getting a bit mad with their isolation. And some people can get like really cruel. Some people can like get really cruel and sadistic when they're like in the middle of nowhere and they have like power over other people. Isolation does something to people. People either become chilled out or serene, or they get a little bit sick. It brings out, some predilections, that's the word, for like, masochism and sadism and all that freaky deaky stuff. Yeah. If these people were sickos, it would make sense this place is haunted. Yucky.
23 years, keeping the curtains drawn and the world out. Visitors say the house still hums with grief.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Rooms grow colder without reason. Heavy footsteps follow you along the upstairs hallway, even when you're alone. Some hear the rustle of Mrs. Crawley's black dress just behind them, only to turn and find nothing but still air. And in the former nursery, toys are said to move on their own, perhaps stirred by the restless spirit of a child.
Well, maybe don't put freaking mannequins around the house. Of course people are going to freaking shit their pants. God, what a fucking jump scare. The National Trust always do shit like this. No wonder people are freaking hallucinating shit. They do it on purpose. They know what they're doing.
Who never made it past infancy. Stand too long in the dining room, and you might feel a hand on your shoulder. Warm at first.
Yeah, it's the freaking caretaker going, yeah, we're closing in 5 minutes. Can you leave? That tends to what happened if you linger too long. Like, we close at 5. Off you go. That's probably the hand that's touching you because you lingered too long. Tends to be how art tours work, mate.
Then icy. It's a reminder this house remembers you. Whether you survive its memories is another matter entirely.
Okay. Take it down a notch.
Gladesville Mental Hospital.
I know this. I know this place. I know this place.
River drifts quietly past Gladesville. But on certain nights, the wind seems...
I almost said Kate Winslet instead of Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett lives in Gladesville. It's a very fancy suburb. And Banjo Patterson, the man that wrote, the guy that wrote Waltzing Matilda and the man from Snowy River and all of that, those like Australia's most famous writer or whatever, his house is also in Gladesville. My hat is so tiny. I know I should get a bigger one, shouldn't I, Bailey? It definitely, it's definitely very practical. It's definitely a very practical hat.
To carry a low, pained moan from the cliffs above. That's where Gladesville Mental Hospital still sits, a cluster of crumbling buildings and locked wards that once held thousands of souls in silence. Opened in 1838 as the Tarban Creek Lunatic Asylum, it was built with high ideals, fresh air, open space, and humane treatment. But like so many asylums of its era, Those ideals rotted in the shadows of overcrowding, neglect, and abuse. Patients, many of them abandoned by their families, spent decades behind locked doors. Some were restrained in darkness for weeks, others subjected to crude medical experiments. When the hospital finally closed in the late 20th century, it left behind more than empty rooms. The unmarked graves of over 1,000 patients lie in the surrounding grounds.
Ooh.
No headstones, no names, only numbers carved into the earth. Today, explorers say the hospital feels alive in ways it shouldn't. Cold drafts slide down hallways with no open windows. Doors close quietly behind you, and voices faint. Almost
What a beautiful
conversational, seem
building.
to echo from rooms you know are empty. Some have reported seeing pale figures standing at the far end of a ward, only for them to dissolve into the walls. Others claim the smell of disinfectant still lingers in the air, decades after the last patient was moved out. If you walk the riverbank at night, you might catch the sound of something heavy being dragged across the floor above you. There's nothing there, but in Gladesville, absence has never meant safety.
There's a lot of rich people in Gladesville, I will tell you that. A lot of rich people, including Kate Blanchett. So, Academy Award winner Kate Blanchett. She lives there. That's where her and her hubby and kids live. It's very fancy, very fancy. Too fancy for me and my povo bum.
So 8, Picton Tunnel. Picton by
Oh,
day.
Picton!
The Red Bank Range Tunnel outside Picton is a relic of rail history, a damp, brick-lined passage cut through the hillside in 1867. But when night falls, the darkness inside feels thicker than it should, as if it's been sitting there for over a century, waiting.
There's a really
whisper about Emily.
There's a really awesome swimming hole in Picton, and it's called Mermaid something. Hello, Ricochet, good to see you. This is in Picton, hang on. It's on the Nepean River. Picton waterhole. Mermaid pool. Mermaid pool. This is on the Nepean River. It's so nice. I knew it was called Mermaid something. I just couldn't remember. I've been here. This water hole, grade A, baby. It's beautiful. It's a 3-kilometer walk down, so that's like 6 miles. It's really nice. We used to drive. We used to drive down here when we were like teenagers. I can't swim, but my friends used to swim and I used to watch. It's very deep, so. Yeah, it's so nice. People always jump off here because it's very deep. You can just... Anyway, that's in Picton.
Bollard, a woman found dead inside the tunnel in 1916. She'd been struck by a train, or so the newspapers said. But no one could explain why she was walking through the tunnel that night, or why her death felt so unfinished. Ever since, visitors claim to see her ghost, a lone woman in white, drifting silently through the tunnel before vanishing into the black. Sometimes.
Why can't I swim? Because I have like really bad rheumatoid arthritis and I have a lot of problems with coordination. I also have incredibly bad anxiety and I've been trying to learn to swim since I was a little kid. I went to swimming lessons when I was a little kid. Every single boyfriend that I've ever had in my life has always tried to teach me to swim and I just can't do it. I can float on my stomach, I can float on my back, I just can't move my legs properly. whenever I try, I just can't do it. So I don't know. And I always freak out and I always like panic and I don't know. I just can't do it. Can I float? Yeah, I can float. I can float on my back and I can float on my tummy. I wouldn't like go to adult swim lessons. I just, yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of embarrassing now. Like, I feel like it's at a point now where it's just kind of embarrassing not to be able to swim. But, yeah, it's, yeah, I will, like, they do adult swim classes near where I live. So I should probably go. I should probably try and learn to swim. But it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I find it very stressful.
Sometimes she appears only as a faint light in the distance, flickering like a lantern until it rushes toward you and disappears. It's not just Emily, either. Some say they've heard a phantom train thunder past them, the walls trembling, only for the air to fall silent a heartbeat later. Others have felt invisible hands tug at their clothing, urging them deeper inside. Stand in the middle too long, and you might notice your own shadow behaving strangely, stretching toward the far end of the tunnel, even when the light is behind you. And if you hear footsteps pacing just ahead, remember this in Picton Tunnel. You are never the only one making the journey.
Okay.
7. Q Station.
I told the story about the quarantine station in Manly when my friends were going on the ghost tour there and I told them not to. I told them not to go. I was living in the city at the time on the other side of the harbour because this is on the north side of the harbour. This is North Head, the old quarantine station. And remember I told you I had a bunch of dumb scared girls staying at my place and I told them not to go. I told them not to go. They were like, oh, something followed us. Like, cool, thanks for bringing it to my house. But yeah, this is the place I was talking about, Manly Quarantine Station.
Manly, Sydney. The view from North Head is stunning, the Pacific stretching
It is
endlessly,
beautiful.
the lights of Sydney twinkling in the distance. But just beyond the beauty lies the quarantine station, a place built to keep disease from entering Australia, and where thousands never left alive. From the 1830s to the 1980s, ships arriving in Sydney with suspected cases of smallpox, plague, or Spanish flu were forced to stop here. Passengers and crew were taken ashore, separated from their belongings, and placed in isolation. Some stayed for weeks. Others spent their last hours on the rocky headland, buried in the hillside cemetery, without ever stepping foot in the city they'd sailed for. The sands...
I just want to say, technically, Manly is a part of Sydney. As much as I'm loath to say it, the North Shore and the Northern Beaches are a part of Sydney. There you go. I made the biggest concession of my life. Look, they're rich and they're annoying and they surf too much and they swallow too much salt water, significantly lowering their IQ. See Tony Abbott for an example. But it is a part of Sydney. It is a part of Sydney.
Stone buildings still stand empty dormitories, the hospital, the showers where people were scrubbed down with carbolic acid.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
Visitors say the past is not entirely silent here. In the hospital, shadowy figures have been seen standing by the beds. In the shower block, the hiss of running water sometimes echoes when the pipes are dry. Tour guides tell of a little girl in a dress from the early 1900s who skips between buildings, her footsteps impossibly light, her laughter distant.
Oh, she sounds nice.
Others speak
that sounds
of
like a
cold
nice
hands that
ghost.
brush your skin in the night air, or a man in a bowler hat who appears on the steps.
You sure it's just not a
only to
hipster?
vanish when you blink. Even in
That could just be a hipster. There are like some hipsters in Manly, which is weird. I think they're like rebelling against like the surf culture there. That's where Joey the anime man is from. He's from Manly. When I found out he was from Manly, I was like, Huh. And then I found out he's a lolly enjoyer, or like was defending lolly. And I was like, yeah, you're from Manly. That checks out. No, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know.
Daylight. The Q station feels like a place that remembers every name, every fever, every final breath.
The houses in Manly are like $10 million.
The harbor winds carry
It's
those
for
memories
rich people.
right to your ear. 6. Maitland Jail.
Oh,
East
Newcastle.
The stone walls of Maitland
This
Jail
is Newcastle.
rise like a fortress against the Hunter Valley sky. Built in 1848, it housed some of Australia's most dangerous criminals, and some who were simply unlucky. The cells were cold, the punishments harsh, and for many, the only way out was in a coffin. Over its 150 years of operation, the jail saw hangings, riots, and escape attempts that ended in blood. In 1977, an inmate was stabbed to death in the exercise yard, sparking unrest that rattled the entire prison. Guards and prisoners alike spoke of a constant tension in the air, as if violence was never far away. Today, the jail is open for tours, but visitors often leave with more than photographs. In the high-security wing, footsteps follow you up the iron stairs.
Is that the place from the movie The Castle? No, the movie The Castle is about a little house near the airport in Melbourne. He calls his home his castle. I think it's like a little... I haven't seen that movie in a while. But yeah, the castle is referring to just a small, modest Australian home in Tullamarine. So, yeah. It's, you know, from the saying, like, a man's home is his castle. It's, yeah. We don't have castles in Australia. There was some type of fortification in Sydney originally, apparently, but it got knocked down for some reason, which sucks. And that would have been the closest thing Australia had to a castle. But yeah, no castles, unfortunately. That would be sick. Oh, we've got some fake castles. Like there's a fake castle in Ballarat called Cryal Castle. And there's a fake castle in Springwood in the Blue Mountains. There's a few fake castles, but yeah, they're just like rich people that had too much time on their hands, basically, and tried to make something that resembles like a castle of like the British Isles or something. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy people out here in the world, guys. A lot of crazies.
Disembodied voices call out names, sometimes your own. Doors slam behind you with a finality that makes your chest tighten. One cell, known for its oppressive atmosphere, is said to host the spirit of an executed man whose final moments were filled with rage. People who step inside... Well, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if someone was murdering me. Pressing down on their shoulders, as though the air itself refuses to let them stand tall. The most unnerving tales come from the guard towers at night. Figures are seen pacing back and forth in the moonlight, keeping watch over a prison that no longer needs guarding. And if you hear the faint jingle of keys behind you, remember here, the dead still keep their shifts. 5.
Jenolan Caves in the Blue Mountains. Guys, the Blue Mountains is super haunted. I will be back in like a few minutes. Give me a seckie. And we're back. That was fast. I am a speedy, speedy girl. Anyway, Jenolan Caves was actually discovered by a bushranger. He was hiding from the authorities, and he discovered a large cave system. And it's so pretty and it's so cool. If you are like a student in New South Wales, around the Sydney area, you are guaranteed to have gone to Jenolan Caves as an excursion, where you will learn about stalactites and stalagmites. It's a very complex limestone cave system. It is gorgeous. There's also a blue pool there, which is like, as the name suggests, a very vibrantly coloured blue water hole that is full of platypuses, and they are super cute. And I saw a mummy platypus and a baby platypus, and it was cute. And that's the story. There we go. Yay.
Jenolan Caves.
Jenolan! Fuck me dead, mate.
The Jenolan Caves are a natural wonder twisting limestone passage.
Every time he says Jenolan wrong, a part of my soul flippin' dies. I tell you what, it's Jenolan Caves, all right? Okay, deep blue ocean. Everything is calm. Everything is serene. AI man, you will not get the best of me today. I will not let you. Ugh.
Underground rivers, and crystal chambers that look like something from another world.
It's so pretty.
But beauty doesn't erase the stories. And in these depths, the dark is more than just an absence of light. Long before European settlers arrived,
that's what
the
darkness
Gundungura
is.
people spoke of the caves as
that's
a
not how you
place,
pronounce that.
A site of creation and spiritual significance. Later, miners and explorers ventured inside, only to return pale and shaken, claiming they'd heard voices whispering in the stone, guiding them or warning them from unseen dangers. Tourists today report similar experiences. In the river cave, some hear splashes in the water when nothing is moving. In the Temple of Baal chamber,
these photos don't do Jenolan Caves justice at all. It's stunning. I don't know why they're showing such shitty photos, but yeah, a lot of the caves do have creepy names, like the Baal chamber, who's obviously like a very demonic pagan god of the Old Testament. But there's also a room called the Cathedral, because one of the rock formations looks like organ. And there's beautiful columns in there, and people actually get married in the cave that's called the Cathedral, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. I don't know why the AI has chosen such shitty photos. I don't even think this is Jenolan Caves. This might be another cave system. But yeah, it's so pretty. It's so nice. Yeah.
Shadows seem to cling to the walls even under strong light. There are stories of a ghostly
yeah, I should show you guys some photos of Jenolan Caves. Actually, so stunning. How do you spell it? My dad's mate owns a farm in Oberon, which is near Jenolan Caves, and yeah, it's a really pretty part of the world. Dyslexia does in fact make you sexier, guys. Where is the gallery? Oh yeah, this guest house is like super popular as well. Why are you showing me possums? Okay, well. Oh, here we go. See, this is what I'm talking about. Can you see? Which way do I have to move? See that? See all like the columns and all of that? See what I'm talking about? Pretty. The little river that runs through, that's the reason why this is the blue pool that I was talking about. This is the blue pool that has platypuses in it. See how blue it is? How crazy is the color of that water? Stunning. See, I know stuff, Hyperbovian. You thought I was crazy. There is a blue pool there. Ha. Ha. There's the little river. There's some nice little waterfalls and stuff. Some stalactites. But yeah, this is more accurate as to what it looks like. This photo here is more accurate to what it looks like. There's a lot of like these columns in there. It's really cool. It's a really cool place, and I recommend going. I have no idea how much it costs these days. It probably costs like $9 million to go, but you know, it's So I remember this is like the big cave that you walk through to like get to the guest house. This is just a normal cave. It doesn't have like any stalactites or stalagmites. And then there's the guest house and the parking area. And yeah, it's some bush ranger that was running away from the cops. He found it. So it's like, yeah.
Woman in 19th century dress, drifting silently through the Lucas cave. Her presence marked only by a sudden drop in temperature. Perhaps most unsettling is the sense of being followed. Guides say they often count their group, only to find one too many figures in the line.
Oh, nice.
Until they turn to look, and the extra shape simply isn't there. The caves have stood for millions of years, and whatever watches from the dark has had plenty of time to learn the paths and the people who walk them. 4. The Rocks.
Yay,
By
Sydney!
daylight. The Rocks is a bustling historic district, its cobblestone lanes lined with cafes and boutique shops. But when the tourists leave and the night takes over, the old stones seem to remember every drop of blood spilled here. In the
It's fine. There's just a bunch of drunk backpackers there. Usually British backpackers trying to hit on you and being annoying. You just tell them to F off. Kindly, sir. Kindly, sir, would you bugger off? And off they go. And the scariest thing about the Rocks is definitely the backpackers, I would say. It's gross.
early 19th century, this was Sydney's roughest quarter, a place of sailors.
This is definitely Australia's most expensive quarter. That Irish bloke that was the CEO of Qantas lives here in like his $50-60 million flat or whatever the heck it is. Disgusting behavior. There, up until quite recently, was a housing commission block here, but housing sold it off. But they did get hundreds of millions of dollars for it. So they were actually able to build a lot more social housing by selling it off. But it is sad that there's not social housing in the Rocks anymore, because I think everyone deserves to have harbour views. But is what it is, I guess.
Gangs and condemned convicts. Public hangings drew crowds, and cramped alleys hid crimes that never reached the courts. Disease swept through the area more than once, leaving mass graves beneath buildings that still stand. Locals and tour guides speak of spirits that wander these streets. A woman in a faded gown has been seen pacing the upper balcony of a colonial terrace, her face pale and sorrowful. In certain alleys, footsteps echo just behind you, keeping pace until you stop, and then they stop too. One of the oldest pubs here, the hero of Waterloo.
My friend got married in the Rocks last year. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It was, God, I miss Sydney. It's such a beautiful city. But unless I win lotto, I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere near Sydney anytime soon, unfortunately. What a stunning town.
Waterloo is infamous for its secret tunnels that once smuggled unwilling sailors to ships. Some say you can still hear their fists pounding from beneath the floor, begging to be freed. And in the back,
I have been in the old tunnels underneath Sydney. Me and my friends used to go tunneling at night. There's ways that if you know where to go, I probably can't say on YouTube, but my dad used to be in a type of employment where he had the old maps to the old Victorian, the old like sewage system that's obviously not in use anymore, but there's a lot of tunnels under Sydney, and if you know where to get in, you can get in. And me and my friends used to do that. We used to explore the subterranean of Sydney at night. Can't say where the entrance is because yeah, I think I would get in big trouble if people knew that I was down there, but you know, my dad helped facilitate my shenanigans when I was a kid, so thanks, Dad. You're a real one. We love ya. We love you. It was fun. I'll see if I can find photos of that. I think there are photos. Old Victorian tunnels under Sydney. There's also, when my dad used to work for the railways, there's also an entire train line and entire train stations underneath Sydney that were never used. And they're really cool too. My dad's been inside those because he had the keys. Very few people know that there have been not one but 3 tunnels cut under Sydney Harbour. Here we go. These are the old tunnels under Sydney. But yeah, not many people know how to get in here. I do, but I think I don't want to get arrested or something, so I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say how you get in. I think these are the train ones actually, but yeah, there's heaps of tunnels under Sydney. These are the train ones. But yeah, they took down the old maps that used to show you how to go. How to get in there. It's pretty cool.
back room. Glasses sometimes lift and smash to the ground, with no hand to touch them. Stand
That's
alone
called
in the
drunk
rocks
people.
after midnight, and you'll feel it, the city's past brushing up against your skin. A history that doesn't want to be forgotten. 3. Wakehurst Parkway, Sydney's northern beaches. At first glance, Wakehurst Parkway is just another stretch of winding road through bushland. But anyone who's driven it at night knows the uneasy silence it carries and the sudden cold breath of something unseen. The most enduring legend here is that of Kelly, the ghost of a young woman who appears in the passenger seat of lone drivers. Sometimes she's quiet, simply staring ahead. Other times, she demands to be taken to a certain location. Those who refuse, or try to speak to her, claim their car suddenly swerves, as if someone else is tugging at the wheel. Police officers have admitted they avoid the road after dark, unless necessary. Locals whisper about accidents that happen without cause. No animals, no other cars. Just
Oh
a
God,
single
that was a
vehicle
jump
suddenly
scare.
veering off into the trees.
Why would you put that
Some
photo up?
drivers
Jesus
report
Christ,
headlights
mate.
appearing in their rearview mirror,
Ugh.
only for the lights to vanish when they pull over to let the car pass. Others say they've seen a woman in white walking along the verge, her figure illuminated for a split second in their beams, before dissolving into the night air. The road twists through deep, shadowed bends, and the bush seems to press in closer the further you go. It's the kind of place where, if you feel the need to glance in your rearview mirror,
Won't somebody think of the millionaires, okay? Won't somebody think of the people with 10, 20, 30 million dollar properties on the northern beaches? They're being haunted by Kelly. They're being haunted by Kelly. Horrible.
you may regret what you see. 2. Gledswood Homestead, Catherine Field, once a thriving colonial estate. Gledswood Homestead now stands as both a heritage site and a stage for whispers from the past. Built in the early 1800s, it was home to the Chisholm family for generations.
The Chisholm family.
Witnessing births, deaths,
And
the
marriages.
long, slow decline of the property's fortunes. Guests and staff have long reported strange happenings here. The drawing room seems to hum with invisible energy, as if conversations from another century are still playing out. Music has been heard drifting from the ballroom when the house is empty. The notes faint, but unmistakable. Perhaps
there's a
the most
winery
frequently
there.
spotted figure is that of a woman in period.
I think I found the reason for people seeing and hearing stuff. There's a winery here and it's open 7 days. I think I found the reason for the ghost, guys. It's the alcohol.
Dress, believed to be Mrs. Chisholm herself. She is seen most often near the main staircase, her face unreadable, her eyes fixed on something far beyond the present.
Yeah, she wants some
Children visiting
Merlot.
the
Help
house
her out.
sometimes claim to see the lady before anyone mentions her. On certain nights, lights are spotted moving through the vineyards outside, bobbing as though carried by invisible hands. The air in the cellar is unnaturally cold, and some visitors feel their hair being tugged gentle at first, then sharply, as if to warn them away. Gledswood may be beautiful
Stop trying to turn me on, Gledswood ghosts, okay? God.
in daylight, but once the sun dips below the horizon, the house seems to inhale, and you can't shake the feeling it's waiting for something or someone. 1. Cockatoo Island.
My dad used to work on Cockatoo Island. My daddy used to work on Cockatoo Island as a rigger. He used to do rigging on Cockatoo Island. It's not used for like ships and stuff anymore. But my dad used to work on Cockatoo Island way before I was born. Way before I was born. He used to work at Cockatoo Island. Now it's like a hipster like art gallery. It's not used for anything like industrial anymore, but he used to. And my daddy used to work there. My daddy and my uncle used to both work there. Yay!
Sydney Harbor, rising from the middle of Sydney Harbor. Cockatoo Island looks peaceful, ferries docking at its wharf, seagulls circling overhead. But its history is layered in shadows. Over the centuries, it has been a convict prison, a reformatory for girls, and a naval shipyard. Each chapter left
My daddy worked there when it was a shipyard.
scars, and some say the island never stopped holding on to the people who suffered here. In the mid-1800s, convicts were kept in harsh conditions, sleeping in overcrowded barracks carved into the sandstone. Many died from disease, violence, or sheer despair. Later, when the reformatory was established, girls as young as 9 were sent here for correction. Accounts from the time describe cruelty, isolation, and punishments that left lasting marks, both physical and unseen. Today, visitors walking the island's paths sometimes hear the clank of chains on stone steps, or low murmurs drifting from the dark tunnels that run beneath the old workshops. The abandoned buildings echo with phantom footsteps, and lights flicker inside locked rooms. Some campers have woken in the night to find shadowy figures.
Isn't there an old prison island off Queensland? Yeah, there's lots of prison islands off the coast.
Standing just beyond the glow of their tents, watching silently. Others report hearing a young girl's sobs carried on the wind, fading whenever they try to follow the sound. The most unsettling stories come from the solitary cells. Stand inside one.
I'll ask my dad if he ever saw anything when he worked there, but I think mainly he was just doing really, really, really hard manual labor when he worked there. Probably just, you know, sweating a lot because it's Sydney and it's hot in summer, but I'll ask him. My dad's very open to the supernatural, I would say. He has lots of ghost stories. He has lots of ghost stories from all over the world because he's worked all over the world.
One too long, and you might feel the air thicken, your breath quickening, your own heartbeat echoing in your ears. When you step out, the harbor will look the same, but you'll leave knowing the island has measured you and decided to let you go. From misty tunnels to wind-battered headlands, New South Wales hides a collection of stories too heavy for daylight. These are places where history doesn't sleep, where footsteps still echo, and voices from the past are never entirely
Queen
silent.
Victoria
You can
building.
visit them. You can take the tours.
This is a shopping center, by the way. This is a shopping center with a big subterranean area called the Galleries Victoria that goes down to Town Hall Station. There used to be a shop there called Jizz Fashion. It used to be owned by this cute little Korean couple, and it was called Jizz Fashion, and it closed down a few years ago, and I'm really sad because I always used to have a giggle about Jizz Fashion. And I've bought Jizz, J-I-Z-Z, Jizz Fashion. I'll show you Jizz Fashion. It used to be in the underneath this building. Yeah, I don't think the cute little couple that ran it knew what it meant, but Jizz Fashion. Sydney. It's gone now. It was an institution. Everyone used to have a giggle at it. Here you go, Jizz Fashion. Oh, I'll always love you, Jizz Fashion. Can you see it? This is underneath that building that they were just showing. It's called Jizz Fashion. It's No, I've Googled this before. I've Googled this before to show someone, so I know it's a safe Google. Can you see it? Jizz Fashion. Rest in peace, Jizz Fashion. That was such an institution. Everyone had a good giggle at that. It was the cutest family that ran it, though. Oh my goodness. They sold really daggy clothes, like $10, $20 like clothes. But I bought a few things from Jizz Fashion. Such a good time. Oh, Jizz Fashion. I will always love you.
You can even tell yourself it's all just folklore. But when the lights flicker in the harbor and the air shifts without warning, you might remember these names and realize the dead in New South Wales have no reason to let you walk away untouched. That's all for today.
I don't want to get molested by a ghost. What are you talking about, you creep? I've been to like 60% of these places and a ghost never tried to molest me. He said we're not going to get away untouched by the ghosts. Why are the ghosts trying to touch me? What a bunch of creeps. But I will say none of the ghosts ever tried to touch me when I went to these places. So, I don't know. Was I rejected by the ghosts? What is happening? What is happening? Oh my goodness. Anyway. Anyway, to move on. We are going to look at the top. Yeah, no one asked me to join their cult, and none of the ghosts ever tried to touch me. I'm feeling very rejected by society. Feeling very rejected by society. All right, we're gonna look at the top 10 scary Australian urban legends with old mate Ranga. Here, I don't know your name, so your name is Danny Burke. It's literally written there. All right, so Danny Burke, please enlighten us.
Top 10. We are back today with another Urban Legends video. I have been taking the most requested country in each comment section and making that my next video in this series, and today is the land down under. Australia is unique in many ways, from its landscape to its
come from the land down
things
under.
Never really change no matter where you go in the world. Things that go bump in the night, scary spirits and the supernatural. These are stories which follow you to the ends of the earth. My name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 scary Australian urban legends. Starting off at number 10 now, we have the Black Ghost of the Blue Mountains. If you ever head through...
Oh my god! maybe I should go visit should I go visit my parents and like film all of these places? Should I make a ghost channel in the Blue Mountains? I could definitely, because I know all these places like the back of my hand, so maybe I should go do it. I'll be very respectful though. I am very respectful of the dead. But yeah, the Blue Mountains is hella haunted, I will say. A lot of cults, the most beautiful place in the world, I will say, stunningly beautiful. Love camping there. I don't know. None of the ghosts ever seem to have an issue with me. A lot of the places where they say, "Oh, the indigenous spirits here want you to leave," I always felt at peace. So, you know, I feel like the land doesn't reject me in the Blue Mountains. So I feel like I'll be okay. I feel like I will be okay. I might do that. I might take the old DSLR up there and have a go, because I know these places like the back of my hand, and because I also know the local cops up there. My dad is like best mates with one of the cops up there, and they yeah, he never busts my dad for doing anything sus. So, you know, we like it. We like to see it. He used to catch me underage drinking, and he'd be like, "Oh, I won't tell your dad." And I was like, "Nah, he already knows. He's the one that bought it for me." And he was like, "Oh, okay, well."
Victoria Pass on Australia's Great Western Highway. Keep an eye
Victoria's
out at
Pass.
night. More than a century now, truckers have...
This is a legit ghost story. And my best friend, her husband is a trucker, and he knows the Victoria Pass story very well. So I do know this is a legit one, because shout out to my best mate's husband, top bloke. He is a good man. I have heard this story, so let's go.
Reported seeing the ghost of a child bride called Carolyn Collette. She was beaten to death by her ex-boyfriend John Walsh in 18...
I don't like these photos. This is actually giving me a heart attack. Hang on, guys. I have to take my heart medication. I'm not joking. This is gonna hurt me. All right, I will be back. Sorry, this is actually scaring me. I don't do the jump scares well. Give me a second. I'll put on the BRB. I do need my heart medicine. I'm not scared. Yes, I am. I am very scared.
42 out there in the pass. Now they say her tortured soul haunts those who pass by on a dark, cold night. It's claimed that the colder the night, the better. When
This is a very famous murder, by the way. This is an incredibly famous murder. In addition to this, Victoria's Pass. So there's two narrow passes in the Blue Mountains that are very long and windy and very dangerous. And they're like known nationally as very big black spots. So these are parts of the road where a lot of people have died. So Victoria Pass in particular is the end of the Blue Mountains as you're driving down this very windy stretch of road, and there's a lot of car accidents down there. The road is just incredibly steep, and it literally sort of is a spiral. It sort of spirals down. It's yeah, it's a very dangerous stretch of road. My dad actually, when I was learning to drive, my dad used to take me down there a lot to practice. Because, you know, it's it gets icy in winter as well. There's black ice there in winter, so it's very, 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 very good to practice driving on. But yeah, it's a very famous stretch of road, especially amongst truck drivers, because it's it's some grade A rally driving down there, guys.
Black ice covers the road, threatening to spin vehicles down to their doom. Everyone is forced to slow down. Once everyone is slow, Caroline is said to approach, ready to seek vengeance for her gruesome death. Next up, at number 9 now, we have
we
the
didn't
Burning
kill
Airman.
you.
During World War II, an Australian bomber plane crashed on the outskirts of Canberra, killing all 4 on board.
Sorry, pet hate, it's Canberra. At least look up how to pronounce it. It's Canberra, all right? 2 syllables. Imagine you've got a can of beer and you put a bra on it, all right, mate? You got a can of beer. I'm just giving you some visuals to help you learn how to pronounce Australian names, all right, mate? All right, this is what you want to do. You want to get a can, put a bra on it. Canberra. Are you with me, mate? All right, good. Nice. Let's go. Let's continue, sir.
It will become known as the Canberra air disaster. Years later, people in the area started reporting strange encounters in the woods. They said unearthly lights could be seen near the old crash site. Others heard the droning noise of a plane followed by a loud bang. Then things got weirder. A teenage girl once ran screaming from the forest, saying that she was being followed by a long dead airman. She said he was covered in fire and that he followed her to the edge of the forest. More people began to report the same thing, horrific encounters that
I'd be more scared of the politicians if I were you, love. I would be way more scared of the politicians that live in Canberra. Way more scared. They're definitely way more scary than like some old RAF guy. Yeah. Beware there's a lot of PDF files in Canberra too. Also the stories go. Canberra's a very, very spoopy. It's like a very Illuminati coded.
Left people traumatized. The stories have been enough to turn some people away from the forest forever for fear of seeing this burning airman stalking them through the trees. Moving on to number 8 now, we have Kelly. This is a very creepy one that was shared on Reddit.
Why is a scary Japanese horror movie girl name is Kelly? I don't know, it doesn't sound like a very Japanese name, but alright. I'll hear you out.
User Puppy 2010 said that they have relatives in the northern beaches area of Australia on the country's east coast. There, locals tell tales of a girl.
Why does nobody think that the northern beaches are Sydney? It's literally Sydney. It's like saying that Footscray isn't a part of Melbourne because it's on the other side of the river. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. Or saying that South Yarra isn't a part of Melbourne. Like anyway, that's frustrating. It is Sydney, guys. Jeez.
Called Kelly, who would appear in people's cars near Oxford Falls if they were travelling alone past midnight. She is said to be the spirit of...
It's probably just one of Tony Abbott's daughters. He lives near there. It's probably just one of Tony Abbott's daughters. I solved the mystery, guys. It's one of Tony Abbott's daughters. She got out. She escaped. She escaped the house. He said, no woman is allowed to leave this house. And she runs away.
A girl who died in a car crash there in the 1970s and has haunted the road ever since. For me,
she was forced to eat raw onions. Delta is correct. It's the family business, and she didn't want to. She wanted to run away from the oppressive onion eating business. So she stalks the roads of Oxford Falls.
Though, the scariest part of the story is that if you don't tell Kelly to get out of the car, she will take control of the car. For those who believe...
Get out of here, you mole. Scram. You gotta go scram, Kells, you flippin' mole. Get out of here. Your breath smells like onions, alright, doll? Bugger off. And that's how you get rid of an Australian ghost. You gotta lean into it. I'll bloody send you off to Canberra, love.
in the tale of Kelly. They worry for the travellers who have never heard this story before and don't know to tell her to get out of the car. Next up at number 7 now we have the Orchard Hills Mafia House. This is a huge white mansion found out in Greater Sydney. You might say it was quite beautiful if not for the scary stories attached to it. For some ghost hunters, no place in Sydney has more spirits than the Orchard Hills Mafia House. Lights are said to just flash off and on even when the building is empty. From the outside, people have seen creepy shadows flickering behind the curtains. Some people even claim that these shadows come outside and approach visitors, chasing them down the driveway with demonic grins on their faces. Why are there so many spirits said to live there? Well, that goes back to the building's name. It's called the Mafia House because it was said to be owned by members of a local mafia group. They were rumoured to routinely execute informants and snitches in one of the upstairs rooms. Between the
Not the Canberra slander, yeah. We do enjoy a bit of Canberra slander around here. We do. Sorry, Bob Fisher. Do you hail from the Australian Capital Territory? If you do, apologies. But yeah, you know, I do often stop at like the Canberra area on the Hume Highway to get Maccas. I do usually stop to have a wee and a cheeky Maccas, but you know, that's about it.
Murderous gangs and the spirits of their victims, many people choose to stay well clear of the big white mansion. Coming in at number 6 now we have the Hawkesbury River Monster. In a lot of these urban legends videos we've discussed creatures that bear a strange resemblance to the Loch Ness Monster. Well, perhaps this is Australia's version. The Hawkesbury River Monster is said to be a snake-like creature with a long neck, a large body and 2 sets of flippers with an eel-like tail. Locals tell fearsome tales of the beast and claim that they have proof to back it up. People point to the huge slide marks that keep appearing on the riverbanks or the crushed and abandoned boats with no owners in sight. Some say this is not a modern phenomena either and that the monster is depicted in the ancient Aboriginal art of that area.
When you said up the milk, it took me a while to realize you were talking about the old school Canberra Raiders jersey. Totally forgot about that. I'm a Parramatta supporter myself, mate, so up the fucking Eels. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Next year it will be 40 years since we won a premiership, so go there. Although Mitch Moses is back in town, so let's go. Let's go, Para.
At number 5 now we have the Hands of Goodna Cemetery. Located on the outskirts of Brisbane, Goodna Cemetery doesn't look to be out of the ordinary at first. Those who visit it though do so because they have heard the stories of what goes on there after dark. According to local legend, there is some sort of force in the cemetery. People describe it differently, but one thing they all agree on is that this force does not like visitors. At night people feel invisible hands punching and scratching them. It's not just a light tap either. People say,
is that kink shaming? Because some people like that. Some people like that. I feel like, you know, some people, like the ghost that was like pulling people's hair. I feel like some people are into that, and I feel like you're kink shaming, you know, a large swath of the population. There might be some people that go to like get scratched and punched by ghosts and get that, you know, a little tussle of their hair. Like, should we really be judging this in the year 2025? You know, if it's between a consenting ghost and a consenting adult, I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's all right.
You'd know if the hands touch you. One particularly scary story involves a local man who once tried to flee the cemetery in his car, but the car just wouldn't start. He spent the night huddled in his car trying to ignore the strange noises outside. The next morning he stepped out and found long scratch marks all the way down the side of his car. Something had been trying to get in and get him. Moving on to number 4 now, we have Schneider's Alley. In the early 20th century, Dr. Schneider lived in Clifton Manor with his wife and child.
Schneider.
Their lives were quite uneventful.
Clifton Manor. Would this be in Clifton Hills? Clifton Manor. Do we know where Clifton Manor is? He didn't say where it was. Whoops, I spelled manor wrong. I'm dumb. Don't worry about me. Totally smart, guys. No, it's in South Australia. It is in Stonyfell, South Australia. All right. I don't know why. That looks... Clifton Hill has rich people houses, so I thought it might be in Clifton Hill. All right. It is in South Australia.
Until one day when tragedy struck. Both the doctor's wife and child died in an accident. The doctor spiraled into madness. At first, it was just his personal life that was affected, but then it began to bleed into...
I really like the Art Deco Macca's. I had to stop there one time for a wee. And then I just ended up buying a burger. Because I felt bad just for going in there to have a wee. Another iconic one, like the Yas one. My ass. The best.
His work. He would take his patients to a little log cabin near his house where he performed surgical experiments on them without anesthetic.
What?
The house saw him mutilate countless people. The locals say that in the years since then, they've seen his disfigured patients wandering the hills around the house and lurking in the alley. At night, distant screams can be heard from those still reliving their operations. Some brave soul visit the house to try and catch their sounds. Next up at number 3 now, we have the Satanist cult. The King's Park in Perth draws in many visitors during the day, but at night it plays host to all kinds of spooky legends. One of this is the Satanic cult. It's said that on certain nights a secret group of devil worshippers descend upon the park where they perform strange rituals. Occult symbols are drawn, effigies are burnt, and all kinds of demonic behavior takes place upon the grassy slopes there. Some even say that human sacrifice...
That's just Friday night in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains. I feel like that's just Friday night. And look, like, if you don't get... Maybe I should start my own cult. Look, if no one's going to ask me to join their cult, maybe I should just start my own. I mean...
sacrifices happen there. This legend has only been fueled by the reports of local homeless men going missing after they visit the park. People believe that sleeping in the park after dark is inviting yourself to be killed in the name of the demons that the cult worships. Next up at number 2 now, we have the Macquarie Field Station in the southwest suburb of...
Did he just call Macquarie Fields? That... How do you get... It's Macquarie Fields. It's Macquarie Fields. For those of you that don't know, Macquarie Fields is a suburb in southwestern Sydney that is, I want to say, at least when I lived in Sydney, it was about 80-90% housing commission. Because one of my cousins lives in Macquarie Fields. I'm very familiar with this suburb, also because for those of you that don't know, I'm a social worker by trade, so I'm very familiar with Macquarie. How did he say Macquarie? And also, like, the Macquaries are one of the most famous families in Australia. Like, they literally found, like Governor Macquarie, he literally ran this entire continent. Governor Macquarie, Macquarie Bank, Macquarie University. How the fuck do you say what's under Granville train station is next? Shout out to my hometown, Granville, baby. Oh yeah, let's go. Western Sydney in the house.
Sydney lies a train station with a grisly secret. When the last train leaves Macquarie Field Station and the platform is totally...
Macquarie Field. I have to tell my dad about this. He's going to piss his pants. My dad told me this story about when he first came to Australia. So my dad first came to Australia. He'd been living in Hong Kong since he was 15. And he came to Australia and he just left the Royal Navy and he was like a young 19-year-old and he hops on a bus in Sydney and he asked to go to Coogee. He wanted to go to Coogee Beach and the bus driver goes, it's Coogee, mate. And my dad was so embarrassed. And this pronunciation of Macquarie Fields is even better than saying Coogee instead of Coogee. Amazing. We do like to see it. We do like to see it.
Empty, a faint cry can be heard in the breeze.
Macquarie.
Believers say the station is haunted. For those that find the crying scary to hear, things only get worse. Some say the crying eventually stops and then, after a short pause, it turns to blood-curdling screams of anguish. On some occasions,
Look, I will say there is quite a lot of domestic violence in Macquarie Fields. There's a lot of intravenous drug use. There's a lot of meth. Yeah, it would not be out of the realms of possibility for there to be people actually screaming. It's probably not ghosts. Also, a lot of eshays. Shout out to the eshays. A lot of eshays in Macquarie Field. So, you know, shout out to Western Sydney. We do love it. We are a proud Westie.
Occasions, people even see the ghost itself, a teenage girl roaming the platform with dark blood covering her face. She cries and cries, then screams and screams. For me though, the creepiest part is that sometimes she stares right at you. And finally, number 1 now, we have the Min Min lights. Those who have ventured to Eastern Australia's outback will often return with tales of the Min Min lights. On some nights, burning lights are said to appear in the distance but never get closer. They keep pace alongside the car but never get any nearer, almost as if it was watching you. Some people believe that if you leave your car...
Melbourne Jail was on one of the earlier videos we watched. I don't know if you were here, but they talked about Ned Kelly and stuff. Yeah, Melbourne Jail was on one of the first lists that we watched, so...
The lights will stalk you through the Australian outback. But hey, don't take my word for it. Unlike many of the other ones we've talked about on our list, there has been documented cases of the Min Min lights. You can find footage on YouTube filmed by locals. In 2003, a report suggested that the lights are just a trick of the light and appear under certain...
Yeah, I went to Melbourne Jail when my parents came down to Melbourne to visit me. I was taking them around, so I took them to Melbourne Jail because they wanted to go. Yeah, I've been there. I have been there. Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy for sure. It's definitely creepy.
Conditions. Others believe this only deepens the conspiracy. They say the government is trying to shake people off the trail and not discover the true nature of the Min Min lights. Alright guys, I want to know which one of those was your favourite. I honestly think Australia might...
My favourite was you trying to pronounce Canberra and Macquarie Fields. That was definitely the highlight for me, mate. That was definitely the highlight for me. My dad finds it so funny. Pom's like trying to pronounce. Well, it's not even, Macquarie's not even an indigenous name, right? I can understand people like not being able to pronounce like indigenous Australian names properly, but Macquarie, mate, that's the Bunyip aristocracy. That's your people, bro. You should know how to say that. What the heck? What the heck?
Have some of the best urban legends I've heard of so far. Do we have any Aussies watching this video? Did I miss any good ones out? Remember to request your country next for our Urban Legends series. I hope you have a lovely day. My name is Danny Burke. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.
I didn't like his use of like imagery from Japanese horror movies. I did not appreciate that. It was I rate it 0 out of 10. The Wood Witch. Ooh, top 10 scary Australian urban legends. Should we give it a crack? The Wood Witch was probably just me when I was going through my witchcraft phase in high school, and I was always like out in the bush, like doing stuff with my girlfriends. We used to do that a lot. You know, you watch The Craft once and next minute, what are you up to? Up to this.
Hello,
up to
everyone.
this
Today
shenanigan.
we are
Oh, it's this bloke again. All right. All right. Should I leave him a comment saying it's pronounced Macquarie? It's like literally the most famous family and richest family in Australia. Macquarie Bank, Macquarie University, Governor Macquarie. That's literally the Phillips and the Macquaries are the Bunyip aristocracy. I get that he's not Aussie, but fuck me. He's literally from England. How do you not know how to say Macquarie? I'm never letting this go. Ever. Ever, ever. How rude. Sort out your life, mate.
Land Down Under for our Urban Legends series.
I
Australia
come
isn't
from
just
the
scary
land
because
down
of all the
under.
scary animals and spiders that could kill you. It's also got a lot of
The animals in Australia are not scary. They're beautiful. You're just a wuss. You're just a wussy, man. A little tiny petite woman from Western Sydney is braver than you. I picked up a giant huntsman once, in front of so I was at like a barbecue and there were like some British people there and there was a huntsman and they were all screaming. So I picked it up so I could like move it, put it on like a tree or something. Because they were all freaking out and they were like, oh my God, you touched it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not venomous. It's not venomous. It's just chilling. Like, you people are hysterical. You people are hysterical. Australians animals aren't scary. They're beautiful. They are beautiful. And I don't know how the British colonize 3/4 of the world when they're so scared of everything. Like, what a bunch of pussies. Magpie swoops into chat. Swoopy boys are probably the scariest animals here.
Paranormal, supernatural, and just plain creepy happenings going on there. Let's take a look at some of the very best now. My name is Danny Burke. This is the top 10 scary Australian urban legends, part 2. Starting off at number 10 now, we have A Devil Among Us. This is a very famous story coming from Sydney and one that many locals know about, even if they wish they didn't. On June 9th, 1979, the Godson family were waiting at the Circular Quay for a ferry to take them out to Sydney's Luna Park. Out of nowhere, they were approached by a satanic-looking figure wearing a loincloth, mask, and horned headdress.
He must have stood out in Circular Quay, one of the most crowded places in the Sydney CBD. I reckon you would notice a bloke getting around in a loincloth. I mean, I know it was the 70s, but oof.
This being posed for a photo with 6-year-old Damien of the family. Tragically, it will be the last picture ever of the boy. Later that night, while they were at Luna
I think that's just one of the buskers. There's heaps of buskers near the ferry terminal.
Park, a fire broke out on the ghost train ride, killing the entire Godson family. Now, during the investigation, police found this picture and wanted to ask the horned man some questions. However, nobody knew who he was or where to find him, and he was never seen again. This left room for a legend to grow, that the devil himself was walking on the streets of Sydney that day, bringing death to whoever he touches, and always dressed in costume so that his horns don't look out of place. Next up at number 9 now, we have Bodies in the Bridge. Sydney Harbour Bridge was completed in 1932, but it didn't come without a price, it seems. Records show that 16 people died during its construction, but there were also 3 that were supposedly covered up. Legend says that those 3 workers fell from the bridge and their disappearance wasn't even noticed because they were temporary workers on the site. Their bodies fell into the pylons of the bridge. The bosses deemed the bodies too difficult to retrieve, and so they continued to build the bridge around their bodies. This urban legend has persisted in Sydney in the decades since, with many people swearing that it's true. They say it's the reason the bridge is actually haunted, and also that they try to not cross the bridge for fear of the workers' spirits rising up and taking their revenge on the living. Moving on to number 8 now, we have the Crown Casino Morgue. This one is really strange. The Crown Casino is one of the most famous ones in Melbourne. Looking at pictures, you would think it was just a luxurious party hub with no creepy stories attached to it. Me too.
I've never gambled in a casino before. I've never. I have been to Crown Casino because my friend was down here for like a science convention because for her work. And I went to like a buffet restaurant or whatever at Crown Casino, but I haven't actually been in there. Oh, and on Lunar New Year, I went down to look at they have a bunch of like Lunar New Year's stuff. So I went there, but I've never actually been there. I don't know. I don't trust myself around gambling. You know, I'm not rich enough to lose what little money that I have. So, you know, I bet on the Melbourne Cup and I buy lotto tickets, and that's the height of my gambling.
That's what I thought, but you are wrong. You see, for many years now, people have been convinced that below the casino, full of gamblers and partiers, there is a morgue for storing human bodies. They say the last stall in every bathroom there is always...
Well, don't the pack his own crown casino. I don't doubt that they just have a bunch of body parts that they feast on during the night. You know, they get a little bit hungry. They definitely eat human flesh. For the benefit of this video, I am clearly joking. This is a joke. I don't believe that the Packer family are flesh-eating monsters. No, I do not. That is a joke. Please don't sue me, but I'll low-key. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Have you seen them? Come on.
It's occupied because it's not actually a bathroom stall. Apparently, there are actually exits that lead to secret hallways which lead to a huge morgue underneath the casino. Legend says that the staff use this system to discreetly move suicide victims who have ended their lives due to
James Packer is hungry. Maybe that's why he looks like Frankenstein-esque. James Packer need some arms. Some human arms. Nom 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 nom. Choppy, choppy, choppy.
Heavy gambling losses. This grisly system is supposed to stop other gamblers from seeing the bodies and being put off the casino. I personally find casinos quite creepy and depressing places, but really, an underground morgue? What do you guys think? Maybe people doubting it really is the perfect cover. At number 7 now, we have the Westfall UFO. Most countries have their UFO stories. This one might be Australia's most famous. It happened on April 6th, 1966.
Oh, yes, is this a primary school?
At 11 AM for about 20 minutes, more than 200 students and teachers claim they saw a UFO descend into a grass field known as the Grange. Some students described it as a grey saucer-shaped craft with a slight purple hue. It was about twice the size of a family car. Others described it differently and said it was more silvery green in colour. Some even said that as it sped away, the craft was chased by 5 unidentified aircraft which circled the object. In the 50 years since then, many of the witnesses have kept in touch and reaffirmed what they all saw with each other, despite their own friends and even family not believing them. At the time, a local TV station called Channel 9 said they had footage of the incident, but when they went to go and find the film canister in the archives, it was mysteriously empty. Now, witnesses believe there has been a cover-up. It's not uncommon for 1 or 2 people to see something and be mistaken, but with 200 people all seeing the same event, this story even has skeptics around the world interested. Moving on to number 6 now, we have the Burning Airman. If you head to Canberra in Australia, many locals are familiar with the story of
He didn't learn to say it in between videos, did he? And also he's repeating stuff. We're going to skip that one. Fisher's ghost.
Some say this is actually Australia's most famous ghost story. In June 1842, an ex-convict named Frederick Fisher vanished from his farm in Campbelltown, west of Sydney. It was a mystery. The police...
Campbelltown isn't west of Sydney. It is Western Sydney. It is a part of Sydney. Do these people not understand that, like, cities are more than just, like, the rich people's suburbs? How freaking rude. Campbelltown is a part of Sydney. It's southwestern Sydney. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Shout out to my boys in Campbelltown. Let's go.
Could find no trace of him. The house lay empty for a while, and then one day, another ex-convict arrived at the house. His name was George Worrell. He claimed that Fisher had returned to England and had left the farm to him in a letter. 4 months later, a friend of Fisher's named John Farley burst into the local hotel in the town and cried out that he had just seen Fisher's ghost sitting by the river. He said that he tried to get closer to the ghost, but his horse reared back and wouldn't go any further. He said the ghost was trying to draw his attention to something near the river. A search party went out there and found Fisher's remains buried in a shallow grave near the edge of the river where the ghost had been pointing. Suspicion turned towards Worrell, who was living in Fisher's house. They arrested him, whereupon he confessed to the murder of Fisher. He was tried and then hanged for his crime. Ever since then, Campbelltown annually celebrates the festival of Fisher's ghost, where they remember the tale of a spirit that helped solve its own murder. Moving on to number 3 now, we have...
To be honest, all I remember from Campbelltown is all the eshays. Eshay. Yeah, Western Sydney makes me feel at home. Melbourne eshays just don't cut it, I've got to say. The original is the best.
Picton's Ghost Town. This is a town about 80 kilometers southwest of Sydney that has earned quite the reputation for its links with the supernatural. It's home to the famous Red Bank Range Railway Tunnel. It's steeped in history. It was used to store mustard gas tanks during World War II and was even a mushroom farm at one point, but that's not why we are visiting it today.
Mushroom
in 1916,
farm.
a local girl called Emily Bollard was walking through the tunnel late at night when she was hit by a train and killed. Some say it was suicide, others say it was just a tragic accident, but ever since then, things haven't been the same. In a century since, since locals have reported seeing a white figure floating in the tunnel. She has no face. There's also been reports of lights floating above people's heads, sudden drops in temperature, black shadows darting around, and even ghostly children appearing and laughing. They say Emily is more likely to appear if there is a psychic or clairvoyant around, but she has been known to appear to the average person, especially if they visit alone and at night. At number 2 now,
well, let's not do that
cross
then.
of Lismore. For this one, we're going way back to
He even left the E off the end of Lismore. Look how he spelt Lismore. Can you see that? Did you see how he spelt Lismore? This is so disrespectful. I will not stand for this disrespect, young man. I will come and I will find you. No, I don't want to go to England. Gross. Gross. It's full of English people. Disgusting behaviour.
1907 to the town of Lismore in New South Wales. 29-year-old railway worker William Steenson was on duty when he tried to stop a runaway train with his bare hands. He was run over and killed. William...
Well, that wasn't a good idea, was it? What kind of a flog's like, you know what? I can definitely stop this train with my bare hands. Stop! Oh, it didn't stop. Fuck me, I'm dead. There we go.
Was buried in the cemetery, and his family erected a crucifix of granite above his grave. That would have been the end of the story, but then 11 years later
he was a Freemason. Look. Do 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 do.
later, something strange began to happen with the granite cross. It began to glow. One by one, the whole town came to see this. William Steenson's cross had a brilliant white hue coming from every inch of it. They began to call it the Ghost of the Hill. Over the next 60 years, news of this glowing cross began to spread more across Australia. Reporters, investigators and tourists poured in to see the glowing cross. Some of them said it could be radioactive, others said it was just a reflection. Nobody was ever going to figure it out though, because in 1986 the cross disappeared. Some say it was a theft by robbers who wanted this famous object for themselves. Others thought it was a cover-up to just hide the paranormal. Either way, the cross was replaced with a replica which never glowed at all. That was over 30 years ago, but the legend of the glowing cross is still talked about to this day. And finally at number 1 now we have the Guyra Dam mystery. On the 8th of December 1999, an unidentified object crashed into the small town of Guyra. It completely flattened an area about 52 by 20 feet across and then plunged into the water. By the time anyone could get to the site, the object had already sunk beneath the mud. Immediately, rumours started spreading. Some said it was a UFO, space junk, a meteorite, a NASA craft returning from Mars, frozen sewage, or perhaps just a hoax. Either way, something needed to be done. The object had crashed into the town's water supply, so they cut it off to stop potential contamination. Police divers recovered material from below the mud. Geologists said it was just a meteorite, and none of the wild theories were true that people had come up with. However, those same people were not happy with the official explanation. They point to all the witness reports of a large object and a mysterious 120-foot gouge in the reed beds. They also say the burn marks left in the area are not normally associated with meteorite impacts. To put it simply, they believe there was a cover-up of a real UFO crash landing in this little Australian town, and now the stories are all people have to go on. Well guys, I think that was another great trip to the land down under. The Australian
I gotta go to Macquarie Fields. Are you going to Macquarie Fields to meet an SJ and get stabbed with by a meth head? Yes, yes I am. Thank you. Alright, I will be back momentarily. Please enjoy this this imagery. Oh no, I'm back. G'day, cunts. Yeah, what else do we have to look at? Does anybody have any spoopy ghost experiences that they would like to share with the class? Does chat have anything spoopy, spooky that's happened to them? Anything interesting? Boop boop boop, poopity scoopity. I'm coming for that booty. Sorry, I still have a fever, so it's a little bit crazy in my brain, guys. It's a little bit crazy. Do, 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 do. You used to see ghosts on Point Nepean? Was it what's his name? Old former Prime Minister Harold Holt? Was it Harold Holt? Nah. Oh. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. If it was Harold, old mate Harold. It was Aboriginal ghosts? Oh yeah, that checks out. That does check out. There's a lot of that about. Oh, should we watch something about the cryptids of Australia? The Yowie? How did that guy pronounce Yowie the other day? What did he call a Yowie? He called a Yowie something heaps funny. Just like learn to pronounce stuff. It's not that hard, bro. It's not that hard. All right, let's go. I think this will be the last video because I haven't eaten today, so I'm gonna need to have some lunch. And then I will do the normal stream tonight as well. So I'll be... Just eat it. Just eat the Yowie, the Cadbury's Yowie. Cadbury's Yowies are pretty good. I do like them. I don't even know what I'm gonna have for lunch. I don't know what I have. Oh, actually, I should get something out of the freezer. I should do that now. I might get some beef and mince out of the freezer and make a house burger. Because I do need some protein, and it's also around the time of the month where I should have some iron. So I should do that. Should do that. Make a homemade cheeseburger. I've got my Costco mince ready to go. It's delicious. Got some pickles, got some onion, got some... Oh, I don't have tomato sauce. I forgot to buy more. Oh no, it's an emergency. How depressing. How am I supposed to live without tomato sauce? That's really depressing. No tobacco? We are out of tobacco. Oh no, darkness, history. I like this production value. Darkness, history, fear. Poo-poo, wee-wee. Imagine how cracked, if I do make ghost videos about the Blue Mountains, imagine how cracked out they'll be. Everyone will be like, what is wrong with this chick? Because I'll just be making like poo jokes halfway through. Scary.
Australia's natural landscapes are stunning.
Yes,
but
they
beyond
are.
the beauty lies a spine-chilling side that few dare to explore. From eerie forests to mysterious lakes, today we're uncovering the 15 most haunted natural places in Australia. These are spots where the line between the living and the spirit world blurs, where tales of ghostly encounters and unexplainable phenomena abound. So, if you're ready to face the haunting mysteries lurking in Australia's wildest regions, this video is for you.
Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy.
1. Devil's Pool. Babinda Boulders, Queensland, at Babinda Boulders, nestled within the dense rainforest, lies the ominous...
Delta, the Blue Mountains Castle, the castle in Springwood is actually just an antique shop. It's actually just an antique shop. I've never been there, but I used to drive past it at least like once a week. But it's just an antique shop. Yeah, they just sold it for 4 mil apparently. So it looks like this. It looks like this. I'm sure whoever owns it would probably have me arrested if I went near there. I guess it's not an antique shop anymore. It's a private residence now. Oh well. You were talking about the stock footage? Oh, sorry. You know, I'm not the brightest sometimes. I'm not the brightest sometimes. That's rich people ruining things as usual. Yeah, pretty much. But there's lots of really cool abandoned old estates and stuff like that in the Blue Mountains. There's a lot of ruins that I can go to. There's a lot of ruins where we used to have parties as kids that look like castles because they were built like, you know, 200 years ago by really rich people. And then like they've usually burnt down or something like that. And so they're just like these stone ruins where everyone goes to get drunk. I can go to a lot of those places because I know where all of those places are. So it's kind of good to have some local knowledge, I guess.
Honestly named Devil's Pool, a picturesque yet perilous body of water. Though serene in appearance, locals and indigenous elders warn of a dark presence lurking beneath its still surface. According to the legend, a young indigenous woman named Ulana, heartbroken
oh, that's
after
a nice
losing her
name.
forbidden love, threw herself into the waters in despair. Her spirit, it said, remains trapped, her heartbreak twisted into vengeful rage.
Relatable.
More than 15 men have mysteriously drowned here.
Well, that's what
Most
you get.
of them visitors drawn by the pool's beauty. Witnesses often report seeing an ethereal, sorrowful woman calling from the water, or hearing faint sobs echo through the forest. These eerie sensations, coupled with the tragic history, have cemented Devil's Pool as one of...
Exactly, Hyperbovian. Exactly. And I bet all these men are cheaters as well, because ghosts know. They're like, oh, here comes another cheater. Oh, you ghosted that girl the other day? Well, now I'm going to drown you. And that's what you get. That's what you get.
Australia's most haunted sites. 2. The Pinnacles Desert, Nambung National Park, Western Australia. The Pinnacles Desert in Western Australia's Nambung National Park is an awe-inspiring yet eerie landscape with thousands of limestone.
Imagine you're just at the luxury picnic experience. There's a luxury picnic experience just here. You're just trying to have a luxury picnic, enjoying your luxurious, you know, cheese and crackers. Meanwhile, there's just some ghost chilling out over here. Like, guys, I'm trying to have a luxurious picnic. What are you doing? You remember one day you were at work, working in an empty field, so no one was around. Then you heard someone yelling your name. Oh, that's creepy as. There was no one around? Yeah, that's always creepy. That's always creepy. Yeah. Nah, that's scary as.
Pillars rising from the yellow sands like ancient tombstones. While scientists believe these formations were created millions of years ago, local indigenous legends tell of a much darker origin. According to legend, these towering stones are the remains of lost souls who ventured into the desert against tribal warnings. They were punished, turned to stone, forever condemned to wander the barren landscape. Visitors to the pinnacles report strange sounds, such as faint whispers carried by the wind, and occasional sightings of shadowy figures moving between the rock formations. The area is known for an unsettling atmosphere, especially at dusk, when the pillars cast long, ominous shadows across the sand. Some even claim to feel a sense of dread, as if unseen eyes are watching from every stone.
Oh no.
The Pinnacles Desert remains a haunting reminder of ancient legends, leaving visitors to wonder if these stones truly hold the spirits of those who dared to cross forbidden ground. 3. Uluru, Northern Territory. Uluru, the iconic red monolith rising from the heart of Australia, is both sacred and haunted, imbued with the spirits of ancestors and a powerful energy that no visitor can ignore.
Uluru! It's Uluru, mate, alright? It's freaking Uluru. Say it with your chest, cunt, alright?
Indigenous Australians hold Uluru as a sacred site, one with a spirit presence as old as time itself. Travelers often report feeling a profound sense of awe, occasionally interrupted by inexplicable sensations, a hand on their shoulder, whispering winds, or shadowy figures around its base. Some visitors who have taken stones from Uluru report experiencing misfortune until they return them.
Well, don't steal stuff, you losers. I hope you got a freaking curse put on you. Why would you go and steal a rock? What freaking gronks? Don't take stuff that doesn't belong to you. And also the people that climb Uluru, even though like the local indigenous people really don't like it and find it really disrespectful. Like if you do that, you deserve to get a curse put on you. I'm sorry, but don't be a dickhead.
An act that Indigenous Australians caution against. The ghostly presence here is more than a figure. It's an essence of ancient reverence, as if Uluru itself is alive, remembering all who visited.
I kind of want to hear this guy pronounce Woolloomooloo.
4. The Kimberley, Western Australia. The Kimberley's untamed wilderness conceals many ancient secrets. Its vast expanse dotted.
They got uranium. They've got uranium. We can, if we see any yellow rocks, let's mark them on the map so we can go get some nukes. Let's build our own weapons.
With mysterious caves and rock formations believed to be sacred. Indigenous lore warns that the spirits of the land protect these sites, and visitors who venture too deep report unsettling encounters.
So beautiful.
Footsteps following them.
There must be so many crocs out here, but apart from that, very beautiful. Oh, this looks like the Bungle Bungles. Is this the Bungle Bungles? Look at that.
Bodied voices or shadowy figures slipping between trees. In one cave, a man saw a translucent figure hovering in the darkness, its form slowly dissolving into thin air. The Kimberley's haunting beauty comes with a price, a reminder to respect the spirits believed to inhabit this untouched land, guardians of nature's most chilling secrets. 5. Port Arthur, historic site, Tasmania. Though known as one of Australia's most haunted locations, Port Arthur's chilling history extends far beyond the prison walls and into the surrounding forests. Visitors wandering the dense woods hear phantom footsteps, eerie whispers, or spot fleeting figures moving between the trees.
Yeah, they got double ghosts because they've got all the convict ghosts, plus they've got all the people that Martin Bryant freaking shot. That's like double ghosts. Double ghosts. I wonder if like the convict ghosts hang out with like the ghosts that died in the 90s. I wonder if they're friends. They have like a cross-generational ghost friendship. What do you reckon?
Ghost tours often recount tales of former convicts who, driven mad by isolation, wander the grounds eternally, lost in despair. Witnesses describe cold spots that chill to the bone, accompanied by a profound sense of dread. These spectral figures serve as a grim reminder of the lives that were lost here, spirits caught between this world and the next. 6. Blue Mountains, New South Wales, the mist.
Dude, why? Dude, why is it every single time? Because, all of my siblings and my parents live in the Blue Mountains. Do I have to worry about them getting ghosted? Well, I think my brother gets ghosted by chicks a lot, actually. I have 2 brothers and a sister and a mum and dad that live in the Blue Mountains. And a bunch of my mates live there too, but I always felt like something was wrong there as soon, because my family moved there when I was like 11 or 12 from Western Sydney. We moved to the Blue Mountains. And as soon as I finished my HSC, I moved straight back down to Sydney. I was like, I'm out of here. There is something very, very off about that place, I will say. There's something that's just like, nah.
The Blue Mountains hold it.
The people that live there are all fucking nuts. That's the main thing. The people that live there, it's not the actual place. It's the freaking weirdos that live there. They're absolute nutters. Absolute weirdos.
An air of mystery, with shadowy trails and dense forests, concealing secrets that few dare to uncover. Legends tell of spirits haunting these cliffs, while locals recount unsettling encounters with ghostly shapes and echoing footsteps. In the dark.
See, I don't have any issues with the spirits that live in the national park. I've never had the feeling. I know lots of people like that go camping. I always go camping by myself in the Blue Mountains. I have always felt very welcome by whatever lives in the bush. I don't know. I reckon like the indigenous spirits, they know that I'm like very respectful. They know I am a #1 nature enjoyer. I am like very, very respectful. I have a lot of reverence. I don't know. I've just never had that like get out feeling. I mean, I have from the people. The people are cunts, but yeah, everything else has been fine.
Darkness of the caves, many have felt cold spots or heard the whispers of unseen entities. The area's indigenous lore adds another layer of mystery, with stories of spirits that protect the mountains. Visitors often leave with a sense of awe mixed with trepidation, as if the mountains are watching and judging those who pass through their haunted trails.
They are. They're judging you, and they like me. They have deemed me worthy, and they have deemed you unworthy, so you suck. Ha ha. You smell. I'm the winner.
7. Mount Cootha, Brisbane, Queensland, a popular hiking spot by day. Mount Cootha transforms into something darker.
Am I the only one that just thinks this is a run-of-the-mill quarry? I think you've got the wrong photo up, mate. I don't think there's a mountain there anymore. I think it's been quarried.
Night. Frequent reports of shadowy figures lurking near the summit and strange noises echoing from the dense forest are enough to scare off even the bravest adventurers. People describe hearing footsteps in the dark.
Where did the mountain go? It got eaten.
And an unshakable feeling of being watched. Some hikers claim to have seen a pale figure drifting among the trees, dissolving before their eyes. The tales surrounding Mount Cootha evoke a haunting loneliness, a reminder that some spirits prefer the solitude of the mountains. 8. The Great Ocean Road, Victoria. The Great Ocean Road stretches along Victoria's dramatic coast.
Wait, I clicked on the wrong video. I was supposed to click on a video about cryptids. I must be hungry. I think, did we watch this one already? No, this is a different video. Oh well. Whoops. This is a different one.
Known for its scenic beauty and dark secrets. This iconic road, bordered by the restless sea and towering cliffs, is reputedly haunted by the spirits of shipwrecked sailors. The 12 Apostles rock formations, particularly, carry an eerie history. Some say ghostly figures appear along the cliffs during misty mornings, vanishing when the light breaks. On stormy nights, witnesses report hearing ghostly cries and seeing lights moving offshore, believed to be the spirits of lost sailors, forever caught between land and sea. The locals...
Where would they be sailing from? Because there's like only Antarctica. I suppose maybe Tasmania, but then why would they be here? Wouldn't they be at Port Phillip Bay? Doesn't really make sense. So where are they sailing from?
Warn that these phantoms appear to remind visitors of the lives lost in the treacherous waters below. 9. Lake George. New South Wales Lake George, with its strange habit of disappearing and reappearing, holds more mysteries than its vanishing waters. Many who have ventured here at night speak of a foreboding presence lurking in the fog.
Oh no!
Sightings include ghostly figures walking along the shoreline, vanishing into thin air as one draws near, and eerie orbs of light hovering over the water's surface. Known to change with the weather, the lake's unpredictable nature has led to numerous supernatural legends. Some believe that restless spirits haunt Lake George, bound to its mysterious shifting landscape, awaiting peace that never comes. 10. Picnic Point. Toowoomba.
He said
Queensland.
Toowoomba properly!
Picnic Point.
He said Toowoomba properly. Let's give him a medal. That's actually really impressive. Good on you, mate.
Sweeping views draw many visitors during the day, but at night, it becomes a place of whispers and ghostly sightings. One of the most famous specters here is a woman in white, said to glide silently along the trails. Local legend says she was a bride who lost her life nearby, her spirit forever lingering in the area. Visitors often feel an inexplicable chill as they walk, and some even report hearing soft whispers in the wind. Encounters with this mysterious figure leave an impression of sorrow and loss, making Picnic Point a haunted favorite among ghost enthusiasts. 11. Lake Mungo. New South Wales Lake Mungo.
Lake Mungo is also one of the earliest evidence of indigenous people in Australia. Lake Mungo is like a very important archaeological, anthropological site because it's the earliest evidence of indigenous Australians on the Australian continent. It is.
Mungo is more than an ancient landscape. It is a sacred burial site where Australia's oldest human remains were found, dating back over 40,000 years. Visitors report feeling watched, hearing strange murmurs in the wind, and seeing ghostly figures at dusk. The spirits here are believed to be the ancestors who once roamed the land, protecting it from those who might disrespect their sacred grounds. Visitors are encouraged to approach with reverence, as those who don't may find themselves haunted by visions of spectral shapes and eerie sensations, as if the ancestors are warning them to leave.
Well, then go.
12. Blue Lake, Mount Gambier, South Australia.
Mount Gambier.
Blue Lake in Mount Gambier is known for its stunningly clear blue waters, which change color with the seasons, but it's also said to hold a dark secret. According to local lore, the lake is haunted by the spirit of an indigenous woman who met a tragic end nearby. Her cries are said to echo across the lake on quiet nights, and some visitors have reported seeing a spectral figure walking along the lake's edge or catching a glimpse of her reflection in the water. The lake's unusual blue color has led to many theories, with some believing it is linked to supernatural forces. Those who visit the lake at dusk
it's probably just
or dawn
minerals.
report an eerie calm, with moments when the water appears to ripple without cause, as if something or someone is moving just beneath the surface. The legend adds a haunting allure to the lake, transforming this scenic
Most Australian bodies of water are like brown because of all the tannins from the types of fauna that grow around the edges. As you can see, this isn't like the type of vegetation that normally is around a body of water, and depending on like the mineral composition of the lake bed, that would 100% account for the color. Like, that's not weird.
natural wonder into a place of ghostly mystery. 13. Min Min Lights, Outback, Queensland. The Min Min Lights are mysterious glowing orbs that have appeared in the Queensland outback for centuries. These lights, hovering in the distance, follow travelers through the dark desert landscape before vanishing. Indigenous Australians regard the Min Min Lights with awe and caution, seeing them as spirits of ancestors or omens. Travelers who've encountered these lights describe an intense feeling of fear, often accompanied by an inexplicable pull to follow them, only to have them disappear into the darkness. Some believe these are souls of the departed, leading lost travelers astray, reminding all who enter the outback of its haunted reputation. 14. Jenolan Caves, Blue Mountain.
I can't listen to him say Jenolan Caves like that anymore. I gotta go. Gotta get out of here. All right, well, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours and I still gotta do the other stream tonight. So yeah, this is a video I meant to click on. Whoops. But we'll have a look at that next time, I guess. We shall have a look at it next time. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I need to eat. It's I haven't eaten today, so I had my coffee this morning, and that's it. That's all I've had. Coffee and Panadol for breakfast. Breakfast of champions. You're not you when I'm hungry. Well, I have a fever, so I don't feel hungry. I'm like very sick, so I'm like, I was just like sweating all last night. It was gross. Thought I was gonna do a long stream at some point. Yeah, probably when I'm not sick. I might go all the way through. But not today. I do need to eat, so gotta do that. Gotta work out how to get some food because all my food is frozen. So I got some like fresh food in the fridge, but I don't know. I need protein. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. See you tonight. Bye. Boop.